All right, what's up, guys? So I have the honor today of hosting Rule Zero. I think this is going to be a good time here. I am joined here by Myron Gaines, Ryan Stone, Entrepreneurs in Cars, John from Modern Dating Life, and Troy Francis. And we're going to be talking about today that she either wants you or she wants something from you. I think this is. I'll kind of start off kind of what I came up with. The topic was that I wanted to talk about just this idea that guys need to know why a woman is even interacting with them, and it's always one of two things in my opinion. It's either she either wants you or she wants something from you, and you need to know what the difference is, because if you know what the difference is, then you know how to react and what you should be doing, and you know when you're wasting your time or not.
Yeah. I just want to say my name is Modern Life Dating, not Modern Dating Life.
Did I call you Modern Dating Life? All right.
You did. It's early in California. Okay. I forgive you.
Right.
I forgive you.
On the plus side, Modern Dating Life is available as a URL if anyone wants to go for it. So.
There we go.
If you would like to come in a solid second place to me, go ahead.
I'm just glad you stopped with the Sergeant Slaughter outfit. I'll take Miami Vice on acid.
Yeah, but on a very simple,
and we have Rollo.
Yeah. Hey.
Rollo, we're live, baby. Rollo, we're live.
I know.
On a very simple level, right? This could just be about validation, this topic, because you could be chatting to a girl on Instagram or on a dating app or something like that, or even over text after you've met her, and she's responding, she's texting back, blah, blah, blah. And then when you say, well, how about we meet for drinks? It's always like, well, I can't do this week, can't do, and she keeps pushing it back, but she's still responding and sending little emojis and stuff like that. If that's happening, then she doesn't want you for sex, which is what you want. She wants you for validation, which is something else. So that's a very simple way that this can happen frequently to guys. And then guys get caught in that horrible gray area where they're sort of like, oh my God, I think she likes me, but what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, you don't do anything. You move on.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of the ways. And then there's other things like where, you might be in a position where you have some type of authority over her and she's trying to, kind of leverage her sexuality to get something from you, whether it's moving up the corporate ladder or moving up and trying to get some kind of skill from you that you possess, like some valuable skill for free, or trying to get your, your mentoring for free. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many times girls come to me and say, hey, will you coach me? Will you work with me, get me in shape? And I'm like, all right, well, I'm pretty expensive. They're like, no, like for free. And I'm like, I just start laughing at them. I'm like, nah, yo, like I purposely charge girls a full price because like I know they'd be on that BS. So yeah, so that's another way that they'll use you too. You know what I'm saying?
I want to say this, like John. Okay, so John from Bulldog Mindset was the one who came up with the theme for this episode, and I think it really needs to be talked about because John, I think you're really you're really underrated in your comprehension of sexual dynamics, in my opinion. And so, the biggest problem that I see with most guys is it's funny, and Rollo, Rich, you guys will probably understand this a little bit more because you guys are older, but like the guys nowadays, they're acting like the girls acted 20, 30 years ago. Like back in the day, the girls would be like, oh, like it's all about my feelings and I just want him to care about me. Now the guys are saying that. The guys are like, oh, I just want one girl. I just wish she would stop sleeping around. I wish, I just want a relationship. So the dynamic has switched, but at the end of the day, like you guys you guys have to just take the whole emotional side of wanting feelings out of a dating with a woman. Okay.
I don't think that women were ever like that though, John. I don't think that women were ever like that, bro. I don't think women were ever like, just care and love for me. It's always been alpha, seed, beta, need, right? I don't think that's something that's new.
Yeah,
there was a study.
That's right.
Go ahead.
No, Rich is absolutely right, but it was more associated with the feminine, wasn't it? I mean, under the surface, it's always been alpha, beta, alpha, seed, beta, need. However, on the surface, it was much more of a feminine impulse, and now what we're finding is that guys are buying into that feminine impulse, like, oh my God, I just want to find the one and get married, and it's going to be so beautiful, and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's magnified today. There's no doubt. There's a lot more weak men.
Yeah, well, it comes down to security.
Done back in the day, John. There was a study back in the day. That's what I was citing. that like women they were surveyed, and they're like, you know, what do you want? And women are like, I just want a relationship. I want my guy to stop sleeping around. All this stuff. Now it's the complete opposite. Guys are the ones who want a relationship. I don't want a relationship. The only relationship I want is with Benjamin Franklin, and I want as many as possible.
George Washington and his brother George Washington.
It comes down to security and abundance, right? So let's say I'm a freelancer, right? And I'm a free agent, right? And you're like, hey, I want to hire you full time, give you a job, pay you a nice salary. If I have a scarcity mindset, if I don't think that I can get a lot of contracts and some paid work from a lot of different people, I'm going to say, oh yeah, I definitely want it. Yeah, yes, this is great, and I'm going to take myself off the market. But if I know that I can bill this guy $500 an hour and this guy $500 an hour, and I have business coming, too much business, I'm never going to commit to one contract or one job. Right. It's the same thing. Like guys today, the reason why I think, John, why that's happening is because they don't have abundance. So they're like, oh, well, shit, I just want to lock down one girl, because they don't feel like they, if you have abundance, you're not thinking that way. You're not thinking.
And to dick ride you on this one too, John, you got a point. It's not even. So back in the day, there was a scarcity mentality. Factory jobs, entrepreneurship wasn't as easy as it is now. So abundance had to come with a real set of skills. But now, like, things are automated. I can sit here and play Minecraft on YouTube and make a fortune. So abundance is almost a thing you need kind of an irrational confidence for. Like, you just trust in your ability to solve problems. And not going to lie, the way we have our Western society set up right now, it is so easy that it's almost impossible to kill yourself by doing stupid mistakes. Like, there's a certain Central Floridan wedding planner convention guy right now who's still not broke, against all better attempts at otherwise. So what excuse, like, that's just it. And I don't mean this as like a pep talk or a beratement, but how hard is it to succeed when the cost for failure is so small right now? Like, we literally have to screw ourselves over, and even then we're bailed out.
Yep.
If anything, that should be a boost of confidence. The idiots can do it. You'll be fine.
We actually live in a time today where you can be running a business and brag about it for 14 years and still never make a dime, own a house or a car.
Yeah.
Got a quick question here. It looks like this one's for you, John. He says, from Beta Alpha says, I'm a single dad. Should I disclose this on my online dating profile or hide?
No.
What do you guys think?
No.
So you don't do that. If
women don't care about your kids.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Well, let's even put it this way.
Online...
You care about your kids. Why do you give this girl that you don't even know your personal life? Like, whose business is it of hers? She has to earn that.
It's not a selling feature.
I'd like to welcome the two other MLDs on the panel. I'll just answer real quick. But listen, here's the deal. You don't want to do that because your profile itself, if you haven't gone through me or Myron learning how to set up your online profile, it's probably trash. Send me an email, modernlifedating@gmail.com with your screenshots. I'll tell you what the deal is. But right off the rip, I'll tell you your profile is probably trash. And the fact that you're asking that question,
no, I know for a fact it is. If he's asking that his profile is trash, John.
Yeah,
let's keep it real.
No, I know. I'm trying to be nice. We're on John's channel.
Yeah, I guess if you have to worry about that, if you're not already dealing with too many messages, then yeah, you get it.
Yeah, but the central point here is that if she's messing with you at all, I don't want to say the F word because I don't want to demonetize this early. But if she's messing with you at all, then the central contention is she either wants something or she wants you. It's one or the other, right? If she wasn't getting anything from the interaction, she wouldn't be there, right? So guys have got to assess: is this girl here because she's into me in the way that I want, which is sexually, or is she here for something else? And if she's here for something else, you need to kick her to the curb.
That's why I love escalation. Escalate early and often. So if you're just getting validation seeking stuff, as soon as you start trying to break that touch barrier, it becomes painfully obvious which one you're getting.
Yeah, and we should be clear about if she wants something from you. It's not always just money or for you to hang her shelves up or to take the dead tree in the backyard down. Sometimes it's follow me on Instagram and join my 10,000 other thirsty beta orbiters and, be one of these guys too, right?
I would say the biggest telltale sign, because the thing is, I always tell guys, like, girl, like, especially in 2020, like, a girl, what she lives for is attention. So, like, if she's not going to meet you on a date, like, you should always be pushing You should. Well, always. It's always been that way. But like, I mean, it's more pronounced now. Like in the social media age, it's more pronounced now. So like before, and the reason why it's so important now is because it's like crack to a lot of women. Because back in the day, a male's attention used to actually have some value. She didn't get the constant validation on the internet. She wasn't always like getting dudes throwing the D's at her on social media and dating apps, whatever. So like when you cold approach the girl back in the day before the internet, it meant something. She would remember that. She'd be like, oh my God, you'd get a phone number. It was more solid. Nowadays, when you get a phone number, 9 out of 10 times, she's going to flake. Like girls don't even care. Like they don't even value male attention anymore, like the way they used to. So the only real way to know if a girl likes you nowadays is she's got to be willing to meet you one-on-one on a date, pretty much. That's like the main way. And then from there, you got to escalate. But if she's not even willing to meet you one-on-one, 9 out of 10 times she doesn't even like you. And actually, somebody asked about this yesterday, like on my story. I do my questions. Someone asked, hey, the girl keeps texting me saying, let's talk on here more. And I said, bro, you think a chick put it this way. If Future, right, who's a famous rapper for those that are living under a rock, if he DM'd the girl and said, hey, yo, come through to LA right now, she's going to be on the first plane going over there, sucking a whole bunch of pee-pee to meet that guy, bro. Like, she's not going to say nothing like, oh, let's talk on here more. He's going to be like, what? Like, can we swear on this? I'm not going to swear.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we can? Okay, he's going to say, fuck out of here, bro. So, so like, yeah, man, like, yeah, like, they just want free attention. So it's way more pronounced now with social media because it's like, it's so abundant that they need more and more of it to validate themselves.
Rollo, you got an article on this, don't you?
I have several. Are you kidding?
Drop those links, baby.
Well, once John like decided that he wanted to do this topic, and I did the thumbnail. Of course, what I do is I just sort of go and filter back through my backlog, my archive. The thing I always get into, and I figured I was going to play devil's advocate on this one, just because it'll shake things up a little bit. Because what's going to happen is guys are going to hear this and they're going to go like, she always wants something from you. It doesn't matter whether it's like she wants to have sex with you or she doesn't want to have sex with you. Eventually, she always wants something from you. It's always exchange. It's always transactional, because for most guys, when it comes to dealing with women, they've been taught this from a very early age, to be a utility to women, to be serviceable to women, to be there, to be the one, to be the guy that goes and does snow removal for them in the middle of winter. Like it was a couple of years back, or maybe it was a year back, where women were going on Tinder and saying, "Oh, I'd really like to meet some guys, but I can't get my car dug out of the snow." Like literally within half an hour, a dude was out in front of this chick's house digging her car out of probably about 10 feet of snow. And that's the kind of, like, you want to talk about thirst, that's the kind of thirst that we're talking about. So we're dealing really with two things. The first one is validational sex versus transactional sex, but that transactional stuff translates over into guys' mentality about women. Like, it's always tit for tat. It's always an exchange. So it's like, I did this for you. I took you out on this date. And that now, like, we have women who are like talking about how they're open about it now, where it's like a foodie call. Like, they're foodie calls, right? It's like, this guy thinks I want to bang him, but I'm using him to go get a lobster dinner or whatever it is. And they're quite open about it. And there's like forums of women who are like talking about like how best to facilitate a foodie call. And then as soon as the guy thinks that there should be some sort of exchange, or he even enters his mind, guys hate it that it's entering their mind that, hey, I keep paying for these dates and this is not really going anywhere. Am I being used? Am I being manipulated? But by him even asking that question of himself, he feels bad about that, because he's told that he's not supposed to think like that.
Isn't the modern world wonderful? It's like the French writer Michel Houellebecq says, romance is no longer possible in the modern world. Do you know what I mean? You hear stuff like that, it's just like, Jesus Christ.
Well, it's
in the West. I'll say that it's in the West. They're still like
gaslighting. They've been brought up to be gaslit, is what they are.
Bro, I'll add to that. Like, I know girls here in Miami, right, that literally when they come over and they hang out, they have dudes saved on their phone as Uber, weed, food, lunch. Like literally, they don't even have them saved by their name. They have them saved by what utility they bring to their life. And that is how a lot of these girls operate nowadays, especially the super hot girls that I date. They all have like a bunch of dudes.
You want to be saved. You want to be saved under cock. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you're not safe under giant phallus, then you're through.
Just nine eggplant emojis. Like, just call that guy. The eggplant guy is coming.
I was thinking the one where
out
you
to,
saved under a girl's name. That way oh yeah, it's just a friend of mine. That's just Stacy.
quick shout out to Hypnosis for Men. He says, shout out to all the Rule Zero crew. Great to see Bulldog Mindset in the mix. He's a phenomenal stuff there in modern dating life. Body language mastery webinar. Thanks a lot, brother.
You know, fighting on Clary's.
Hold on. I want to ask a question to you guys though. I mean, I think Rich is the most pragmatic out of all. It's like, Rich, is it not like, but I think men shouldn't get upset, like, because the only reason I want to be with the girl is sex or servitude. So she just wants to be with me for some things as well. But isn't that all human nature? Like, we're only with each other on this show because we're all like, you know, we're made like a network of clout for us all to grow. But is that am I missing something? But is that not human nature? We only interact with somebody because they bring some sort of benefit to us.
Well, that was what, you know, Robert Berfolt postulated back in the day when he drew, well, you know, when they concluded with Berfolt's lot. Basically, it was the female in the animal kingdom that would determine the length of the relationship. And essentially the relationship would end when the female decided there was no further benefit to being associated with the male. And that's not just with humans. I mean, that's with primates too. But I mean, humans aren't that much different. I mean, people hit up guys like us all the time, like, hey dude, I got this problem with my single mommy girlfriend, my wife, my whatever. And it's like, you know, help me out, and they want something from you, or, you know, I'd love to grab a coffee and pick your brain. But what they're saying is they want to pick your pocket and your time. Like, they want to steal shit from you. So it's not like, you know, if you send them a message back where they get an autoresponder that says, hey, you know, this is how you can reach me. You can book a call here. You can request a video topic. That'll like weed through a lot of the people that aren't serious about, you know, doing something with it. I mean, I always say if somebody's not paying, they're not paying attention, right? I mean, there's very, very few people that will actually act on the information that they're looking for unless they're willing to exchange some form of value for it. But you know, that's in human nature. Like, you know, humans want free shit. I mean, that's why we see liberalism today with so many people looking for cancel rent, cancel student loans, cancel mortgages. They want to cancel everything.
One filter you can use for that is to, you know, because you want to determine if the girl is using you for something other than what you want. Does she actually have genuine desire for you? Is instead of just denying her requests, ask her to do something for you. Yeah, right. Ask for them. That's why, like, a really good one, even in a club or a bar, is to ask the girl, "Hey, buy me a drink." Right. Yeah. I mean, you have to have the frame to be able to pull it off, like where you're serious about it. She's like, "Oh, are you kidding?" I'm like, "No, I'm not. No, seriously, buy me a drink." We'll talk, right? And then if she actually wants you, she's gonna buy you a drink. She's gonna jump through hoops for you. Not only that, but it's also just a good technique, because if you get someone doing something for you, what happens is we backwards rationalize our behaviors, right? It's a psychological
Franklin effect.
Exactly. And so if you can get her doing stuff for you, she's going to backwards rationalize that she must like you, and that's why she's doing it. And you're going to actually build that. But you have to be very clear from the beginning, right? Because so many guys are like, oh, I need to do the right things in order to attract her, and I don't want to piss her off. I don't want to, and all these things. Like, you can't piss her. Like, you can't. If she's actually attracted to you, doing the wrong things is actually the right things, right? Telling her
you could be the biggest asshole to a girl. If she really digs your vibe, she won't care. She'll still bang you.
And I'll say this too, man. Let's keep it real. The only way to really know if a girl really likes you is if she spends money on you, bro. Like I always say, like the only difference between a regular girl and a feminist is the feminist is going to pretend to reach for her pocketbook where a regular girl won't even care. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the reality. So if a girl's willing to spend money on you, that's a very honest indicator that she likes you. Because most women, the hottest girls, they probably can't even remember the last time they spent money on a guy. They just can't. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's a classic mystery method move, isn't it? In the club to say to the girl, so you got to buy me a drink kind of thing. And it kind of, even now, it kind of still fries their brain. They're like, whoa, what do you mean? But then, if they do, then they've made an investment in you, not just a monetary investment, but the investment of the gesture. And that's really powerful because then she's
awesome ROI,
Yeah, exactly. She's bought more into you. So it's cool. But John makes a good point. Let's face it, a lot of human interaction is transactional to some extent. That's kind of the way things are, and we can be all nice about it on this. And obviously, people like, we're friends on this panel and everything, but also there's a transactional aspect to everything, and that is kind of just how human nature is. So we've got to bear that in mind as well. I mean, I'm not cutting these girls some slack, but at the same time, we are transactional often in the way that we view them as well. And it's just part of life. I think the important thing is for guys not to be naive. It's not to be naive and think, oh my God, she's so innocent and amazing, and she's really interested in me as a person, when actually it's probably something else.
And Troy, that's a beautiful point. That's the difference between men dealing with men and then men dealing with women, right? So like when men deal with men, it's open that like, hey, we're dealing with each other because there's some kind of mutual benefit, whether it's business, networking, whatever, right? It's okay. Like if the guy doesn't perform on what he's supposed to, you just cut him. You don't deal with him no more, right? But with women, however, guys are much more willing to sit there and get used, which I always say, for free attention. No free attention 2020, no free attention ever. But like, guys are much more willing to sit there hoping they're going to get sex. Like, oh, I hope she likes me. I hope she likes me. I'm just going to keep like playing this game and play the long game and all this other sucker shit. And it's like, nah, bro, that's why like to me personally, when you're dealing with a chick, you have to push for sex quickly. And the reason why is because if you don't, she's going to sit there with two things. Number one, she's going to think you're a beta male that she could walk on you, walk all over you. And then number two, it's the only way to discern true interest. Because if she sleeps with you, then for a fact she actually, well, for the most part, if she sleeps with you quickly, she probably sees you as high value. You know what I'm saying? Because she's not going to want to miss out on that opportunity. So that's one of the best ways to get rid of time wasters is to try to sleep with them quickly and think you some BS, kick them to the curb.
Yeah, and there's a reason guys don't do that.
I want to piggyback off of that too, because look, a lot of you guys are such pessimist crybabies out there. Okay, and I want to give you a little perspective. The bar for success in game has become so low, because the average guy is absolutely atrocious in game. Thanks. Therefore, the average girl's game is not as good either. Okay? Like, you have to realize that. Like, if you're going to spar with somebody, you're going to only be as good as your sparring partner. Okay? Game is the same way. Now, that being said, what Myron said is right. If a girl likes you, okay, in a relationship, she's going to give you sex relatively quick, right? Because you have to remember this. Especially American girls, Western girls, the fundamental backbone of American girls' game is either give you sex or retract sex or give sex to somebody else to make you jealous. That's it. That's their game. They have no female game. They don't know how to seduce you through. You know what women do in Asia and South America when they want to get a guy? They ensnare you with comfort. They cook for you. They massage. They do the laundry. Say, hey, you don't need to go to the gym. Stay here. Listen, I made your favorite steak. I got you the tiramisu that you like. Let me massage you. The new show you like on Netflix is there. And she's like, I'm gonna get this guy fat, and he's only gonna love me. Because when women love you like that, they project their insane amount of love on every woman who looks at you. So she's like, no, that guy, like that girl, she knows the value that you have. And she knows what I see. So that's why they do it. But American girls, all they know how to do is call you gay, tell you have a small dick, like, or and then not give you pussy and then report you on an app. And or if they do like you, they just give you pussy and they expect like everything to be the way it is.
Yeah, and I get that here. So for a lot of guys, here's a very common scenario as to why John's speech sounds good, but they won't apply it. As a kid, your mom is a lazy parent. Divorces your dad, so you have no male influence. She goes, you be a good boy. And she basically attaches your insecurity of abandonment, because kids are helpless. They need mom around to do anything. She attacks his identity and says, a good boy does this. He gets that. He develops that. And then in school, female teachers, be a good boy and sit down. And every girl in his life, while he's at his most helpless developmental stages, encourages him to defer to women. So he takes these models he builds all through like 10, 12 years of his life, and he refines them over time. And so now that he's older, when he talks to a girl, he is so worried about her abandoning him. It's a limbic brain thing. It's just instinct. We don't even know we're doing it. And that's why, like, there's this guy in the chat. I'm meaning to call you out, but Janice, where he's like, I'm an introvert. I don't like approaching women. I just use my money. I guarantee right now, if you talk about your aversion to approaching women, you could not articulate why. You would make up some hodgepodge of reasons that make no sense. And that's generally why, because we've almost been instinctively trained to defer to women. So that's why for John, it sounds so easy because he doesn't defer to women. And honestly, if you want to get to that point where all of this advice just clicks for you, then yeah, you have to address those core issues. And again, nice guy behaviors. We've dunked on nice guys for how many years now? A lot of those insecure based nice guy behaviors are the things that are keeping you from taking what John and what Myron and what Troy and what Rollo was saying and just running with it and carving out your own success. So
here's the other thing too, like guys, like it is completely socially acceptable for a woman to go ahead and take your attention, your resources, your time, and not give you any romance back. It is completely socially acceptable for a woman to friend zone the fuck out of you and use you for your non-sexual attention. It's celebrated, right? But if a guy stands his ground and says no, like, bro, when I tell girls I don't have female friends, they look at me like, you're a misogynist. I'm like, fuck you. Like, I'm not going to give you no free attention. Yeah. Like, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you're crazy. Cause like, to me, I look at it like if a girl uses me for free attention, that's like me bringing a girl to my place that I met off Tinder, banging her, recording it, putting it on Bang Bros without her permission, and then kicking her out and never like taking her out on dates. That's how I look at it. So I look at it as huge disrespect. So like if a girl tells me some bullshit like, oh, we should be friends, I literally laughed at a girl's face one time and said no. Like, get out
completely.
Of my
face. Well, but it's your absolute right to do that. It's his absolute right to do that, and to live an efficient life, you've got to be ruthless. With these people, you've got to be ruthless with time wasters, right?
But if you put your foot down, if you put your foot down, people will automatically try to shame you. But I don't give a fuck anymore. But I used to care. I used to be like, oh my god, I don't want her to think I'm like a bad guy. But like, nah, fuck that.
It doesn't matter. Block, delete, move on.
Yeah, facts.
When a girl tells you that, listen. When a girl tells you want to be friends with me, listen. You're full of shit, and you have to laugh at them, like you said, because like you know what a real friend is. If your tire is blown out at 3 a.m. on the highway and you have no AAA, you're broke, whatever. That like, are you like, hey Stacy, you remember in the bar when you rejected me, but you said you wanted to be my friend? You got a tire iron and a spare. Like, I need some. This is a friend moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys want to hear something funny?
Rollo's got something here. I think.
Okay. Yeah. My bad.
Is that this is old school stuff from way back in the day. I can remember when we would have these conversations on like So Suave or on All Fast Seduction. We would talk about like, can you be friends with a woman? And I always got run up the flagpole because, and this was like back in the day when like guys were like running game, like real serious game, like where it was like the developmental stage of game. And people would run me up the flagpole for saying like, no, you cannot be friends with a woman, not to the same degree that you can be friends with a guy. Because when a woman gives you the LJBF, which I have not heard in a very long time, but it's just the let's just be friends rejection. I've written probably, in fact, I think it's in like at least 2 of my books. That's a rejection. Guys don't realize, and they haven't realized for like 20 years now, probably longer than that LJBF is a rejection. And it's saying like, look, I don't want to be intimate with you, but I enjoy your attention and I want to keep getting the same attention I've been getting all this time while you've been working up to, the sniper mentality, right? Like you trying to take, to waiting all this time for the prove yourself and prove, your quality to Milady. You take your shot and she gives you the let's just be friends. What happens is when you say no, no thanks, I got enough friends. I see where this is going. That's fine. What happens is when you flip the script on women, it really messes with their brains because God forbid there's a woman out there who thinks that somebody somewhere on planet Earth doesn't like them, and particularly a guy. So they deal with it in 2 different ways. If the guy was just simply a beta whose attention she really doesn't care about anyways, she's like, okay, fine, get out of here, loser. Or else she's going to do everything in her power to say, oh, can't we just be friends? Can't we just hang out? Can't we just and I've always said this is that the reason why men and women cannot be friends, platonic friends, like we're all friends, is because we have different models for friendship for our guy friends than we do for our intersexual friends. So a woman, when she thinks of friendship, she has the only model she has to go on is her other girlfriend. So when I say this, when I say women have boyfriends and girlfriends, if you're not fucking her, you are her girlfriend. Why? Because that's all she knows how to deal with. If you're starting to relate to her on the same level as a friend, as a girlfriend, let's go paint our nails together. Let's hang out at the mall. That kind of stuff. If that is the tact that you take, if you accept that, you just become one of her girlfriends, and you will, she considers you a girlfriend. You consider her, oh, she's a friend. We're a modern couple. We're all equal. We're all blank slates. It doesn't matter. Men and women can be friends. No problem. What do you do with your friend? The same thing you do with your guy friend? No, that's exactly what John just said a minute ago, is the same kind of stuff that you would do with your same-sex male friends. You would like the shit that you'll put up with for a female friend. If a guy friend tried to do that, you would punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm an hour and a half late, but I had to do my makeup and I had to do my hair and I had to look nice and cute for these. I don't want to fuck, but you're my friend, and I made you. You will wait. You will do things. You will put up with behavior that if your guy friend did that, it would come to fist fights. And so what happens is guys, particularly in their beta male mindset, again, they go back to that training, that conditioning that Ryan was saying. If I'm not her friend, then I'm an asshole, and she'll tell all her other girlfriends who I might have a shot with that I'm an asshole. So I need to be a good friend. I need to be right there. Or it's like that Dumb and Dumber line, like, oh, so you're saying there's a chance that I can get with you later? So it's either this olive branch.
Telling me there's a chance.
Yeah, you're telling me there's a chance. And again, the reason for that is because those guys believe that if they are serviceable, if they are in some way a utility, if they in some way represent something that woman needs, that she will eventually become intimate with them and go, oh, I'm sorry. You were here all along. I was really in love with you. Now, the last thing I want to say here is that what happens is, for a woman who's like, say, in her 20s, like 22, 23, 24, her priorities are different. What she wants, what she's looking for, what makes for a useful guy at 22, what makes for a guy who's attractive or arousing at 22 is not the same as when she's in her epiphany phase between 29 and, say, 31. So suddenly what happens is the guy who she gave the LJBF rejection to when she was 23, now, when she's 30, suddenly she says, oh, you were here all along. I've learned my lesson. It's my journey of self-discovery. I want to get right with God, but you have to jump through these hoops first and prove to me that you're the quality guy that you really said you are for the last 10 years. So here's your chance, sucker. And so what these guys do is, because they're in such a state of deficit, they're in such a state of scarcity, they think their ship has come in. They think, finally, I've proved myself to my lady, when in fact, only thing that's happened is her priorities have shifted, and now those priorities make you useful for what she needs at that particular time. And you will never hear a more self-righteous beta than the guy who is right there at the right time in the epiphany phase, who goes, my ship has finally come in. All the stuff that I've been doing, all these guys are talking about game, all these guys in the PUA community, all this red pill crap, that's out the window, because now she likes me. I stuck to my principles, and I had perseverance, and he has no clue that she just wants something from him. I mean, he happens to be the guy with benefits. And so she goes, and so what do women do? They play on that. They know that guy is going to be ready and wait. They're betas and waiting, right? They know that guy is going to, at that time in their lives, he's going to be right there. That's even what Sheryl Sandberg talks about that in Lean In. Don't worry, girls. At 30, there'll be a sucker who's still ignorant who will sit, and it will be the guy that you need in the right place at the right time. And that's why they get pissed off at game, at red pill, at MGTOW, at whatever you want to call it. Any guy that has that education, any guy who is not ignorant at that time, that's why they get pissed off at us. That's why.
This is why guys have got to be very, very clear about what they actually want. And if you're going into the dating marketplace and basically you want to have sex with different girls, and that is not what you're getting from a prospect that you are interacting with, then you've got to just cut that prospect. You've got to be ruthless, because the women out there are certainly ruthless in their own right. So you've got to just do that as well. And this is also why, by the way, game is best played in big metropolitan areas, places like Miami, Tokyo, London, New York, etc., Las Vegas, whatever, because you want anonymity and you want the power and freedom to be able to walk away. I mean, to hell with worrying about what her friends are going to think and worrying about if you could get with one of her friends. That is that's a lack of abundance. You know, if you're interacting with a girl, she's not giving you what you want, you're not getting that, you know, what you want out of it, cut her, block, delete, and move the hell on to somebody else. You know, yeah, sorry, Myron, carry on.
No, I just wanted to add to Rolo's point, because that is so true. I took a girl out on a date here when I first moved out here to Miami, and then after the date, we kissed, and she was like, "Oh, let's just be friends." And I like looked at her and I laughed, and we used to go to the same gym together, and I said, "No, I don't be friends with women." So when she saw me at the gym, like 2 weeks later, she smiled and said hello and tried to start conversation. So what that told me was, even though like, you know, it was, you know, we're obviously not going to go anywhere, she at least respected me for not sitting there and tolerating that BS. Like, I'm going to be your friend. Well, and the other thing too. Oh, sorry, you're going to say something, Troy?
I was just, very quickly. She would not respect you, would she? Because she knows that you wanted her in a sexual way. And if she just says, "Oh, let's be friends," you're like, "Oh, okay, let's be friends."
Exactly.
Then how is she going to respect that? Because she knows that you've subordinated your desire to her frame.
And then she saw me in the gym with another girl too. So that made things also, when she was like, she came by and tried to like start conversation. So it's like, and my thing is this too, because like girls will try to say that BS, like, "Oh, we should just be friends." You know what I always tell girls? Guys and girls can't be friends. And they're like, "Yes, I got plenty of guy friends." I'm, "Oh, really? Okay. You know what? Text them right now. It's 2:00 in the morning. Tell them you're horny. See what happens. The fuck out of here." Like, these girls are delusional, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Listen,
but they just like to say it. You know what I'm saying?
If a girl wants to be your friend, you gotta be like, "Listen, I can be friends with you, but you got to be able to deadlift 225 and throw a perfect spiral at least 40 yards. You can't do those things."
Dude, I'd say just change the tire. My girls changed my tires. I think it's definitely a good quality.
I got to
be friends.
I got to throw this out there, because this just came to my head again, because this was something that we used when we had this conversation back in the SoSwap days in the mid 2000s. And like, guys would talk, we had to get into this debate about like, well, guys and girls could be friends, you know, and if you don't agree to that, then there's something wrong with you, like you're a misogynist or some shit like that. So the response was this, and I can't claim responsibility for this because somebody else said this, and it was way long ago. But what the guy said was, so you have a girlfriend, right? Okay, let's say for sake of argument, she's drunk, she's sleeping over at your house, she's sleeping it off or whatever, and the next morning like 2 a.m, she comes out of the bedroom or whatever, and she's wearing like this slinky outfit, and she like clearly wants to have sex with you, and she's looking good, and you're horny and she's horny, and she says, "I'd really like to have sex with you right now." You know, this is your friend, right? What do you do? Do you say, "I wouldn't want to ruin our beautiful friendship with sex"? Or do you go and you hit it like with the power of Thor's hammer, right? I mean, what do you do if in those situations? And pretty much every guy will say, well, she wants to have sex. I got to be a good friend, right? I got to have, maybe we'll be friends with benefits or something like that. They'll try to make up some rationale. But the thing is once you put sex on the table for those guys, all that friendship shit is thrown right out the window, and women know damn well that's the case.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too, Rolo. You said something great. You said something like how when a woman gets older, she starts to, you know, look at that, reprioritize. And I'll tell you this, with girls that are older, they are less reluctant to take on male friends. They'll say, "No, I don't want." When they're in their early 20s, they're all good with taking, you know, "You want to be my friend, whatever, I'll save you my phone, it's fucking Uber."
It's an option.
Well, you know what I'm saying? But as they get older, they've kind of played the game and realized that all these guys are trying to sleep with them. So they cut out their male friends when they get older. You know what I mean? And they also know, girls know like innately that like having a lot of guy friends is repellent to high value guys. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to, you know, carry around these orbiters when they get older. They mature and realize, oh, this is bad for me to lock down a guy. So it's hilarious how their mind transforms as they get older. You know what I'm saying? But
dude, you have no idea, man.
I just want to say something real quick. The guy from the chat just sent me his online dating profile. It's shit. But we got you. Just stay subscribed to my channel.
Yeah, Myron, you have no idea how true you are there. Like, girls, when they're dating, the one thing you'll find, I had a friend of mine, roommate through time in the military. We slutted it up constantly. She got a good man and wanted to settle down. she sanitized all of her thing. All of those orbiters, all the guys that would take the 2 a.m. phone calls, she removes them from her life. And that's one of the ways to tell when a girl is really into you. They clean your house and all of their thoughterry just disappears like it never happened.
So here's another angle on the whole topic. First of all, there's a really good book that's pretty underrated. It's called Why Women Have Sex. I recommend that you guys read it because
David Buss and Cindy Minson write it. It's a good one.
Yeah, there's basically like 2 reasons why guys have sex, right? But there's like 15 different reasons why women have sex. And this all goes to that whole, to talking to the point of whether or not she wants you or she wants something from you. And if you understand that dynamic, then you can also understand the psychology of if you know that a girl wants something from you, because to speak what John was saying about transactional relationships, because in some degree, all relationships are transactional. So the one key element of understanding this from a transactional relationship perspective is understanding why women have sex. Okay. And so if you want the sex, understand the reasons why, and then also understand this psychological factor, which is that if you understand what someone wants from you, the best possible thing that you can do is not give it to them. Right. Yes. So for example, if a girl wants you for validation, then you just don't give her validation. And then what she's going to keep on upping the stakes. She's going to keep on moving towards you to get what she wants. So she's going to give up what you want in exchange for what she wants, but you're still never going to give it to her fully, right? The same thing if it's money. Okay, if you know girls coming after you for money, do not give her any money, right? You want her to keep on chasing that thing. So, I mean, it's just a good thing to understand about human dynamics is when someone wants something from you, understand what it is, right? And I think this is probably there's probably a law in 48 Laws of Power about this, but you don't ever give it. Never fully, right? This is sort of the actually it's from the Art of Seduction, Robert Greene's Art of Seduction, right? Where he talks about the coquette, right? It's hot and cold, like you're never fully satiating the desire. And if you can remember that as a man and you understand the reasons why women have sex, then what you do is as soon as you're in an interaction with a woman, you think, okay, what does she want? Okay. And sometimes it's just, she just wants you. In that case, you can't fuck it up. You basically can't fuck it up. But if she wants something else, figure out what that thing is. Is it because you have a big YouTube channel or an Instagram account, or you have a lot of money, or is it because
it's too cold outside to go home? She wants you to stop nagging. Some of the reasons in there are crazy, by the way.
Right. So figure out what that is. And then just like a good marketer, push that pain button. Make her experience that pain a little bit more, but then don't give her the solution to it, right? Always hold, here it is. Here's the antidote for your poison. I have it right here, but you hold it just a little bit further out of reach and she'll keep on reaching, right? So many guys are giving it up too easy. They're just like, okay, this is an exchange. So I just give them what they want. And I get what I want. And no, because once the person has what they want, they no longer have any motivation to give you what you want. So you have to really be good at, and women are good at this, right? Women will string you along forever.
Wow.
If you let
them.
Because they know this dynamic, right? They know you want, they know what you want from the very beginning, because there's only one thing that you want. And so they will just make it seem like you're going to get that and give you one breadcrumb trail there, one breadcrumb trail there. Pretty soon you are like doing her all kinds of favors. You're doing all this shit for her because you think you're going to get that thing. So you just flip the script here. You use that tactic.
We talk about that all the time on my channel, my community. We call it just dangle the carrot and let the jackass chase it. Just dangle the carrot, because, bro, like a lot of people look at me and they're like, oh, MLD, you're so ruthless and your game is like, immoral and blah, blah, blah.
Your game is so like, tight and golden.
No. Ruthless isn't like, kind of cruel is what I mean. Right. And so, but the thing is, my best tricks in like game and everything I've learned from women. It's shit they've pulled on me. Like, I'm like, God damn, this is a treacherous bitch, but that is some fucking good shit. I'm gonna use this on these other dumb girls over here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let's be real. Women can be extremely ruthless in the dating marketplace, and actually, men are often the naive kind of marks who get who kind of get pulled over the coals if they're not careful. This is why guys who are new to this stuff, who go out into the field, they get
taken to cleaners.
They get taken to the cleaners. You've got to get a little bit tough to this stuff.
And the hotter the girl, the thing is this: the hotter the girl, the more practice she's had fleecing higher value men. So she's gonna think that she could fleece you as well. So like that's very common here in Miami. Like a lot of these girls, they'll go out on a date with you, and let's say you met them like regularly or through a regular dating site. They'll still try to fleece you and say, hey, it costs this much money or whatever. And you're like, what? Like, but that's if you come off as a sucker. She's like, okay, I'm gonna come up on this guy. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna fill you out and then they're gonna size you up immediately. That's why I always tell guys, like, man, you got to figure this out, especially in 2020, because women are built differently now. Like they're completely they're looking at you as like a meal ticket if you present yourself in that manner. You know what I mean? The days of I like women are more promiscuous now than men are. That's like you take an average 21-year-old female versus average 21 male, she's running circles around him as far as like sexual experience. So if a guy doesn't know what he's doing, the girl is 100% going to exploit him, whether it's through finances, time, resources, whatever it may be. And the problem is that most guys aren't aware of this. Most guys aren't sexually experienced, especially in their 20s, to the point that they can discern this, and they typically don't find out until it's too late. And when do they find out? When they're getting raked over the coals in divorce court, when they're losing their kids, when they're losing their money, whatever it may be. They're learning the hard way. They're not learning this stuff up front because they don't have this sexual experience to draw from to understand when girls are like not fit for a long-term relationship.
Two things, guys. One, I got to run in a minute, but two, I want you to just slide the progress bar back about 30 seconds and listen to what Myron said again, because if you don't get it right at that stage in your 20s, you're going to get it wrong later on in your life. And that's when you're going to, like, the cost of dealing with the consequences of getting it wrong can be quite costly. It's very pricey. I got to run, gents. It's been great sitting in on this one, but I told you guys from the get-go that I didn't have like a full show to do on this one. So have a good one.
It's summer. I'm surprised you're not tanning right now.
Well, I got a family event to get to, but check out my clips channel, the brand new channel. It's called Rich Cooper Clips. Check that out. I'm doing some shorter clips there, but enjoy the rest of the show with these awesome men. See you guys later.
Thanks,
See you
Rich.
later.
See you, Rich.
Peace.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah. Yeah, ruthlessness is unfortunately is the key word of the day, really, isn't it? Right, because these women can be extremely ruthless in dating, and if you're not as a guy, you are likely to get made a fool of. Right. So, the most important thing, I think, again, sorry, just say this, John, is to be extremely clear, to have laser focus on what you want, okay? And what you probably want is lots of sex with lots of different women, okay? So you've got to keep your eyes on the prize, and you've got to eliminate leads that aren't gonna give you that, okay? Because none of us have got a lot of time. We've all got a few decades left, and then we're going to be dead. So you've got to get onto this and don't allow people to waste your time.
I want to say this,
and that's why I say
when it comes to ruthlessness in game, like, look, you guys, I have been in bed with girls after they've gone out of dates with a guy, and I fuck her, and we're laying down and we're talking, and I'm like, so tell me about this loser that took you out for a date. And the girl, they laugh when they smack you, and they're like, what do you don't say that. I'm like, well, he's kind of a loser if he's taking you seriously. And then they nobody talks to them like this, right?
Yeah. Dude, I've been in bed with girls before they go on the date. Like it's not, that's just it. Like I'm not even MLD level here. I'm just saying it's common as hell. That's why your bar pickup sessions are bad.
It's not about me trying to show off here. I'm trying to make a point. The thing I'm trying to say here is that, you guys really underestimate how cold-blooded these women really are. You guys don't understand. You guys think you understand. You don't understand. Okay, I'm in the field. Myron's in the field. Troy's in the field. John, Bulldog mindset, he's in the field. Ruthlessness in today's day and age is at an all-time high, bro. You say one thing wrong to some of these chicks, bro, she has to touch a button on her screen of her phone, and you have disappeared from her perception of reality forever.
That's a fact, bro. Like nowadays, like, and that's why guys always say, "Oh, I got a number close." That's why number closes don't mean shit now. Because if a girl gives you her number now with the iMessage feature, she can literally like give you a number and then like just block you, and you get green text. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like nowadays, like when I do night game, I don't even go for number polls anymore. I go for polls. Like I don't even go for number closes because night game number closes nowadays don't mean the same thing 20 years ago when Mister was running around doing, can openers and stuff. It's completely different now. So if you're running a night game, you should be trying to pull. And I know some because there's two strategies. You can either go out and try to pull, or you can number collect. But the problem with number collecting nowadays is if you do it, you're going to have to go hard. You're going to have to get 30 to 50 numbers to get maybe 1 to 5 good leads that might actually pan out to something, which to me, honestly, I don't like running night game like that. I think that's a huge waste of time. But, sorry, go ahead, John.
To speak to that, if you're able to get a solid number, because guys don't understand what a solid number is, okay?
Facts.
If I go, I can number close 90% of the time. Not a problem to get the number. That doesn't mean shit. To get a solid number means that you probably could have pulled anyway.
Yeah.
So why are you fucking wasting the time? Why are you wasting the night? Why are you wasting the next day? Just like that's what it means to get a solid number, because it's not just getting the digits. Just getting the digits is simple. That's easy. All you have to do is ask for it. If you just ask for the digits, in fact, if you just say it with some command, you're going to get it like 90% of the time.
Don't ask, tell. Like, and here's the other thing, John, because I already know guys in the chat are going to say, well, what's a good number, John? Okay, guys, I'll give you an example right now. Let's say you're out at the bar.
To you before you ask.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And then here's the other thing, because a lot of guys will make this mistake. I use this example all the time. You're at the club, right? And this is where you discern good game and bad game. You're at the club, bar, whatever it may be. You got a girl you're talking to. She's showing you IOIs. She's actually complying with you. She's willing to isolate, whatever. But she drops the bomb on you. Hey, I drove here. I'm here with 5 of my girlfriends. One's puking. The other one is angry. The other one's fighting with her boyfriend. But, that's what's going on. Are you going to sit there and continue to talk to that girl, or are you going to move on? What I would do is I'd number close that girl, make her invest, then I'd move on. But a lot of guys will sit there in set trying to close that. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like that is an example of a good number close. But that's when the example where you need to number close and get out of there. But a lot of guys will sit there and try to try to close that. And that's a waste of time, because logistics are almost always going to fail you, mess you up if you don't know what you're doing. So go ahead, John.
Yeah, that's logistics. You're absolutely right. Logistics is 90%. 90% of the success that you're going to have if you're trying to pull, for sure.
I just want to say, as a guy from sales and sales background, every number is a solid W for me. When I go out night game, I'll take numbers and I'll take the one night stand at the same time, because I think I'm not trying to like negatively push back on you guys, but for me personally, like, always be sourcing, always be building that potential database that you can pitch to get sex out of, because that's how you end up in a dry spell. As guys get a little arrogant, they get a little, think, I don't want to do the extra steps. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to get her number, whatever. Like, I'm always like, I treat it like I was email marketing before I even knew how to email market. But because I have sent 60 girls, I'm not joking, 60 girls the same mass text, and I do it often. And just send them, and I just say, hey, let's hang out. Let's meet at my place tonight. 55 girls will tell me to go to hell. 3 girls will say, I can't do it tonight. We'll do it next week. And 2 girls will be like, yeah, I'll come over tonight. And then I'll decide, okay, who's hotter, who has higher potential flake. And then I book them for that night. And then I stack my week.
That was how Tate started his first cam girl business. He invited them up to be strippers.
Yeah. And honestly, that's how you got to do it. I always say most guys' problems with women are always derived from not working volume. Almost always. Yes. Like guys that say, oh, this girl's flaky, or this girl's doing this, or whatever. All right, how many girls did you talk to today? 0. Or how many girls did you approach this month? 0. Bro, that's your fucking problem. Most guys don't work the correct amount of volume. Like, I'm so big on, you have to talk to, if you want to get laid, man, I'm going 1 for 20 to 40 doing night game. Everyone, oh, Byron, you're Chad. You got nice teeth. That's why you get girls. Bro, I'm going 1 for 40, bro. And night game is my specialty. Like,
if you've got yellow teeth, you need to do 80.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, these guys, these guys don't understand that like, you have to work crazy volume nowadays to get girls, because girls are more selective than ever. So you have to, and here's the thing, they will sit there and siphon off free attention if you let them, like we've been talking about the whole time. If you put a girl in the lead and you let her dictate the interaction, she will siphon off attention from you and suck you dry for your attention and make you go mad, not even care. That's why you got to put her on the fucking put her feet to the fire and get sex as quick as possible. That's the only way to discern if she likes you or not nowadays, you know?
Quick shout out to Endangered Masculinity. He says, you guys are right. I was raised dominantly by my mom and taught by female teachers and had female principals. Like most guys, I learned the hard way that women cannot nurture masculinity in men.
Mm-hmm. Most guys would do this, and this is kind of relevant to the transactional nature of things. Is a lot of guys. One of the reasons I made a big deal out of what is it? Iron Rule of Tomasi number 3.
Your rules, man. Don't be stammering.
Iron Rule of Tomasi. I'm trying to think where I wrote it. But you cannot negotiate genuine desire.
Yes,
and that is a principle that I think if you learn one thing from the rational male, that's the thing. Well, that and there is no one, but but remember that negotiating desire is not just about like you going to marriage counseling and hoping your wife will fuck you because you did the dishes X amount of times per week or whatever. It's also about you negotiating desire, having the mentality, the internalized mentality of believing that you can negotiate it, because that's the essence. Negotiating desire is the essence of a transactional understanding of intersexual dynamics, which is I do this and she will give me sex, right? I'm serviceable. I will go do snow removal. I will go do all of these things. I'll be the guy that I'll make myself indispensable. And that's one of the 48 laws of power, right? Make it so that people can't do without you. Well, the problem is that doesn't work in intersexual dynamics, because what happens is you go and it becomes this transaction. It's a transactional thing. But when you call in you say, okay, now it's time for you to pay the piper. It's time for you to pay your dues. That's when women go, you think you're owed sex? You're never owed sex. That's rape. That's like a woman having sex with a guy that she doesn't want to have sex with, or she feels obligated to have sex with, or she doesn't have enthusiastic, consent with. If you had to negotiate it in any way, that's negotiating desire. The idea that you do something and that something will get you sex is negotiating that desire. It's not that you can't influence desire. It's not that you can't be arousing. It's not that you can't like learn game or get yourself in shape or get orthodonture and get your teeth in shape and make them look really, really good. So you can do lots of things to influence arousal, but you can't negotiate it.
But if you do it for those reasons, you'll actually make it worse, right?
Yeah.
So if she knows you're going to the gym because you want to get her attracted to you again, or you're doing those things. If you're doing them for you, or because you're I love your term, caffeinating the hamster, because you're actually going out and potentially going looking somewhere else, then it's going to create that.
Well, think about it this way.
But you do it for yourself. You do it for yourself. You sort your teeth out. You get jacked. You do your fashion. All this stuff. You do it solely for yourself. But and then the way that you interact with women is ruthless in that you are very clear about what you want, which is
you make them replaceable.
Exactly, and that's why you have to work volume. And
when you play the game like women do, and you treat them as expendable like they treat men, because make no mistake about it, women treat men as expendable in the dating game. So you need to do the same shit to them. When you do it to them, you're memorable, because it's rare. Most guys don't do that.
It's a marketing
I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah, it's a marketing thing Troy's onto here. Sorry, Troy. I'll finish off. I'm cutting you off.
No, I was just going to say quickly, people have been talking about Glenn Ross in the chat, which is obviously a great movie. There's a great sales book, though, by a guy called Jeb Blount, called Fanatical Prospecting. And the key message in this book is that you need to keep your pipeline full, okay, in order to make consistent sales. So you've got to keep sourcing. And even if, and what guys will do is they'll go like, oh, I was at the bar last night, I got this really solid number, so I'll just take the rest of the day off because this one's sure to come through. And what happens then is if she flakes, then suddenly you've got you've got dead time. So you need to be continually prospecting.
And here's bouncing back on a Rolo's point here about where you can't negotiate desire. I think this is why guys take a very solid piece of advice and then amp up the TISM to 12. Yeah, it's transactional. Yeah, you're doing these things for yourself, but think of it from a branding perspective. Guys who decide to mow your lawn, to do your clothes, to dote all over you, I'll be super loyal. They're turning themselves into a commodity instead of a luxury brand. And that's the difference. Like bringing home the bacon is no longer a sexual strategy because girls have their own jobs. They can buy their own bacon. They don't need your money. But what they can't go without is that fancy Louis Vuitton purse that they can flex with on their frenemies out when they're having brunch. So as a guy, and this is exactly, everybody here is core in this thing here. Girls are replaceable. You don't need their business. There's a reason why Louis Vuitton, if they don't sell their purses that year, they burn them all. They want scarcity. They want a fear of missing out. Yeah. And it's human nature to want what other people want, to want what's scarce, to want what's unavailable. And everything everybody's been saying on this panel has all been towards that end. So yeah, you can't negotiate desire, but if you're going to negotiate a fear, well, not even negotiate, but kind of command, a fear of missing out, a command of respect, of high value. And yes, you're doing these things for yourself, but yourself really likes to get laid. Yourself likes female companionship. So while they're not the ultimate motivation, at the same time, they're a nice lagging indicator of success. And a lot of guys kind of miss that nuance with it. And I'm done with that.
Facts. No. I just want to, that's why I always say, do not run I hope she likes me game. You run take it or fucking leave it game.
Yes.
Because when you purport yourself in that way, she knows off rip without you having to say a word that you have other girls. Because most guys are not willing to walk away from women that are not reciprocating what they want. And to the low IQ dork in here in the chat, oh, Lamb, saying, that's a strategy, giving free attention to 40 chicks if I want that reciprocates. No, you retard. It's actually on the contrary. Yeah. I kick girls to the curb immediately that don't reciprocate any type of attention. I watch their body language. As soon as I approach them, if they don't do what I like, I immediately walk away. That's why I approach so many girls, because I immediately kick girls to the curb that are not showing any type of IOIs. That's how you're supposed to run night game, because a lot of girls will sit there and waste your time if you let them. So that's how I know this Lamb guy is low IQ when it comes to girls. So,
and again, it's just worth saying, if any of this sounds harsh to anybody with, finer sensibilities out there, women will do exactly the same thing. How quickly will a woman reject you? It's not even a split second. It's like bang, you're gone.
They know in the first 5 seconds, Troy.
Exactly.
They know in the first 5 seconds. That's why I say do not sit there and waste time, because she knows right there. She's not going to fuck you, but she's like, all right, I'll talk to this guy because my friend is talking to this guy, and she's talking to this guy. So I'll sit here and get this attention because I'm getting validation from a guy. And you can't let her do that to you.
Myron, listen. Look, for all the men listening out there, I'm going to make a very simple example that all of you will remember. Okay, look. All the guys in this panel, let's not try to act like we're so cool, okay? Now, if a 6 out of 10 approached you at a bar, right? And you went after the 8 out of 10, but she shot you down. But the 6 out of 10 strolled up. She's like, look, I think you're hot. I fucking give solid blowjobs. I've got no STDs. You could raw dog me. You could dump a hot load inside me. I won't get pregnant. We're going to be like, let me book that Uber. The exact same way that if a woman is not attracted to you, but you'll still give her attention, she'll take it. She'll take the attention, but she, if she can't get the attention she wants, she'll take you as the consolation attention, but she's not going to give you sex.
Well, she may. There's two things here. There's two things I'll say about that. One of them is, I always ask guys this: do you want a girl to want to fuck you, or to let you fuck her?
Yeah.
Big difference. Huge difference.
Late gasp.
It's a huge difference in the experience, right? And so you need to be, if you're in the mindset, if you're going out and you're like Myron saying, the reason why the filter has to be so harsh is because you don't want the girls that will let you fuck them. I mean, there's plenty that check, you can do it with money. You can do it if she wants something from you. But if you want her to want you, because that's much better sex. That's like, most guys haven't experienced that in their life, because most of the girls that they fuck have been ones that have let them fuck her. And then the only one? Second thing, hold on. The second thing I'll say about this, which I think is really important, which goes to this whole thing. I used to play poker a lot, right? I was going to kind of go semi-professional with poker. And the one really important lesson I learned in poker is that scared money always loses, right? And so what that means is, let's imagine I have $100, and you see this all the time, right? Drunk guy comes up at the table, he pulls out of his pocket some chips, he's got like $100 left, he's already lost $600, his wife's gonna fucking kill him. He puts $100 on the table, and then he's playing scared cards, right? He plays stupid. He either plays too tight or he plays too loose and takes a fucking gamble to try and get his money back. Okay, what you want to do, you walk into a $100 buy-in table, you want to have $10,000 in your pocket, and you want to have enough to buy in 100 times, and you put down the 100 and you play as smart smart as you can. And that's the difference here, because you have nothing to lose. It's that scarcity mindset. So when you're doing what Myron says here, and you're going up to girls and they're giving you any kind of shit, and you're like, fuck off, bitch. I mean, you might not even say those words, but your physicality, right? What you're communicating and everything that you're saying is, fuck off, bitch. You're either going to do what I want or I'm not interested in you. Like,
take it or leave it, man.
My time. That is playing without scared money. Okay. It's same thing when you're texting a girl and like, oh, what should I say? What should I say? Like, I don't.
You already fucked up. Yeah. If
exactly. You should be like, I don't give a fuck. There's like 15 other matches on Tinder here. Like, what is she doing? You wasting my fucking time. All right, move on,
John.
And that's when you're playing at the top of your game.
And that's why self-improvement is so important, man. Because like, you're not going to tolerate no BS from a 19-year-old bimbo at a club when she gives you BS. Like, if you've worked on yourself, you made your money, you're in the gym, etc. When she tells you, I don't know, I have a boyfriend, you're not even going to let her finish the sentence. You're going to walk off. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
I was going to say this. Like, I understand we all have our preferences, whatever, but like, do you guys really care if a girl lets you fuck her compared to wants to fuck it? Because I certainly don't.
Compliance is a pretty strong argument, John. I kind of agree with you there a bit, but it's all about what you want, right? If you won't settle for it, if you do, whatever. You got laid, you don't care. That's the theme of my book, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, it's ejaculate, evacuate. What are you guys sitting around like, hiring an architect and designing a house? I don't get it.
There's a huge difference. It's like what Rollo's saying about. I mean, I get what you're saying, John, but there's a huge difference in the quality of the experience, right? Genuine desire is so much different than just being a cum receptacle, right? Like it's like, I don't know. I mean, like some guys, sure, it's fine. You can go after that, but I would never accept that standard.
Yeah, but sometimes you're at a baseball game, you just want a $2 hot dog, and you're fine with that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
exactly.
I see. Probably not you, because you're marathon triathlon. I can't handle that much salt right now. Sorry. Fair enough.
I've heard Tom Likas use this analogy before. For guys, sex is like taking a piss. Right. For it, you want to go and take a piss in a nice, bathroom at the 5-star hotel with gold-plated, faucets and whatever else. That you would love that, right? But in a pinch, you'll go take a whiz in a dirty, garage or gas station or something like that. If that's
a dirty thing with daddy issues.
And so, I mean, I get that. I get that point. I think I'm a little bit. I've always had a little bit of trouble with the LMR stuff about classic game, like last minute resistance, like overcoming last minute resistance. If there's resistance there in the first place, I'm like, why are you there? Well, who cares? Yeah. Like, I want 100% desire. I want a woman tearing my clothes off because she wants to have sex with me. Does that mean that I've always had the in my 40+ notch count? Is that what I've always had? No, not always, but that would be certainly preferable. And I wrote about this back in the day. I think it was in 2017, 2018, when I think it was the Aziz Ansari thing was happening about, like, we're talking about consent. And I've always had a real problem with consent right now, because consent in 2020 is effectively meaningless. To say, oh, I gave him consent. Consent is what women complain about when they're talking about beta males. Alpha males don't have to worry about consent. There's no issues of consent. There's no, you want to know why, like, rock stars don't get Me Too'd? It's because the women really were into it and they really wanted to have sex with those guys because they had genuine desire for those guys. That's not to say it doesn't happen. I'm sure it has, because they want the money later on. But at the time, when rock stars were rock stars, they were getting laid like tile, and nobody was complaining about it then, because they really wanted to get in on that. Now here's your evolution lesson about this. Primate females will allow beta males to have sexual access to them if those beta males can provide some sort of resource, like childcare, for one, like watching the kids when they're banging the alpha of the group, the rival alpha.
Oh no, they're just friends, Rollo.
Yeah, exactly. Or they will bring them bananas, or they will pick lice off of their whatever, nits out of their whatever. If the beta male can in some way provide some kind of service, when that female is not in estrus, she'll happily give that guy she'll lay there and say, okay, and he gets off and they're done, right? She doesn't want to have sex with that guy, but it's kind of like that reciprocal transactional thing. So beta males get transactional sex. Beta males get sex. It's not that like betas can't get laid. It's just they're not getting the same kind of sex that alpha male is, because that female wants to desperately have sex with that guy, particularly when she's in estrus or she's in her ovulatory shift phase, whatever you want to call it. That is genuine, natural, organic desire. That is enthusiastic consent. That's what I was writing about at the time. And so there's a parallel for that in the human condition. And what happens is the problem I think that happens is that women get locked into like long-term relationships with guys that they don't really want to have sex with, but they were the right guy at the right place at the right time. That guy who's 30 years old, who took care of his shit, who still is ignorant of his game and is still locked into the transactional kind of thing. And what happens is you get a society full of those beta males, and they build that up. Like that's the right way to do it. If you're alpha and she really wants to bang you all the time, you're having meaningless sex. Like everybody on this panel, you're having meaningless sex, including myself. You had meaningless sex because it wasn't the way that all these beta males wanted you to have sex, which is just you do the right thing and you're serviceable and you do these good things. That is a beta mentality and a transactional way of understanding sex.
Meaningless sex is the best kind of sex. I think we can all agree on that.
Dude, 10% technique, 90% enthusiasm.
So
nowadays you have to though.
What's
you have to as a man.
What's meaningful sex versus non-meaningful? For me, it's like, did I come or did I not come? If I didn't come, it's meaningless. If I came, it's meaningful. What kind of, are we writing poetry? What's going on here?
We all know this. It's the sex that I'm not getting is meaningless.
Guys that say that, dude, like there's a couple telltale signs. Like here's the thing, man. Guys that are good with women, like there's universal behaviors that they display that you're able to detect if you're good with women too when you see them operate. So when guys say stupid shit like that, I know right away they're sexually inexperienced and their lay count's probably low. And here's the thing. That's fine. I don't care. That's more girls for me. But the problem is that a lot of guys don't understand that today, the way the world is now, in this modernized world with social media, with the females being like openly sexual, promiscuity being high, etc. As a man, to stand a chance in this marketplace, especially if you want a relationship, a long-term relationship, you need to get out there and date these girls, because if you don't, the girl is going to run circles around you and sell you purity when she really isn't who she is. And then next thing you know, you get in a relationship with this girl, boom, mask off, future, you know what I'm saying? And then she's taking you to the cleaners because you did not have the relationship experience that she did. And now she sold you purity. You got a false bill of goods. And now you're looking like a sucker in divorce court.
That's the rollover, the Royce one, isn't it? 8-12 ruler or something.
Yeah. Well, I got a question for you though. Okay, so here let's just to play devil's advocate. Let me pose a hypothetical here. Did you guys see? I'm sure you have on Twitter. You probably follow him, and if you don't, you probably should follow him. But was it Scott Adams who got? Yeah. Okay. He just married the hottest piece of ass like I have ever. Like he's had her as a girlfriend for a long time, and I think she's might be like getting up to 30 or something like that. But she is just a complete smoke show, and he is like 61 or 62 or something like that. Just got married, and people were looking at the pictures, going, "Oh, I can't believe it! She just wants to have sex with him for his money." It's like, yeah, and he's cool with that. So
why the fuck do you think he got? What do you think he made all that money for?
Right. Okay. So here's my point.
I wrote Dilbert for you, woman.
Question. Let me ask the question. Question is, do you think that she has genuine desire for Scott Adams? Do you think that she just dreams at night of like sucking him off and getting after it with Scott Adams? Do you think that is her ideal lover in the future for her, or do you think that she's involved in this because of his money?
You can't even know that. No, you can't even know that. See, I mean, at a surface level, it seems like the answer is obvious, but you can't even know that because you don't know how he handles her, because that's what's going to determine it. And
I don't think he has game.
She has a lot of money. Now, she doesn't have his money, but she's a multimillionaire as well because she's a professional model, right? So she has a lot of money. So I mean, and when you look at her Instagram profile, like she's got all pictures where she's taking pictures with him. Like she's more, showing him off. It looks like than showing her off. So
I think John's onto it. Yeah, lots of girls don't have their man in their Insta feed.
So I don't know. Again, you can't know for sure, but I bet there's an element of it because I mean he seems to be fairly red pilled himself. I don't know 100%, but you never know what the dynamic is in the relationship, and I think that's like if you saw them interacting, then you can make an assessment. But until then, I think it's really a speculation. And so many guys will, and the reason why I say this, and I know a lot of guys are going to disagree with what I'm saying, is because so many guys like they want to just say, oh yeah, if I had money, if it's just because of the money, and that really, they don't understand the alpha mentality when they think it's all about the money, right? Because that can contribute to it. And so it's like if you just try to dismiss all these things by saying, oh yeah, rich guys or whatever, it's not good for you as developing as a man, because you need to understand that there is more to it. Like that alpha mentality is really the thing that creates the genuine desire, and it is an uncontrollable thing, and it doesn't matter necessarily. I mean, why do you think women read so many romance novels, right? They're not as visual. Not to say that they're not visual at all, but if you can get into a woman's head, if you can be that guy and turn her on, your looks don't matter nearly as much.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, there are plenty of guys with money in London who are sitting at tables that they bought with bottles that they bought, and the girls are there taking a drink and then walking off onto the dance floor and then banging Chad from the dance floor who's got no money, right? So that is absolutely 100% correct. So, money in itself. I mean, what sometimes happens is that the two things go hand in hand, because the guy who's made a lot of money he also has that drive. He also has those alpha characteristics, which are also attractive. So sometimes the two things combine, but not always, because look at somebody like Bill Gates, for example. Do you know what I mean? Like, not everybody who becomes a multimillionaire or a billionaire is necessarily that guy. So in order to be successful in the sexual marketplace, you need to become that guy, as well as looking after your money, looking after your fitness, etc., etc.
I'm going to hit these super chats real quick. So Remo RE says, shout out to Alan Roger Curry for coining the no free attention mantra. Highly effective. If you guys don't know who he's talking about Alan Roger Curry, who wrote Mode 1, which I thought that was a pretty good book on being very direct approach, like extremely direct. And then we've got, did you know, Matt? He says, comply or buy works until kids. What then, guys? Let's table that for a second, but then we can. I think we can.
Come to my channel. We'll handle you after that.
Let me tell you what I think. Let me tell you really quick. Let me tell you what I think is going on. We'll come back to that. What I think was going on with Scott Adams is this, and this is where I was hoping you guys were going to go, but you didn't go there. I think that there are guys who get to a point where, whether they're blue pill or they whatever. Like Jeff Bezos is a good example. You got the richest man in the world who still has a very blue pill mindset. He can have any chick that he wants to have. And I know I'm not going to use Dan Blitzerian because I know what's going on. But like, you get a guy like Scott Adams, or you get a guy who's got a lot of money, and because of that money, because of their resources, because of who they are, whether they've got some social proof or whatever. But let's just say they've got a lot of money, and they've got women who are interested in them because they have that money. I think there is a mindset of guys who reach a certain level when it comes to that cash, that kind of money, where they don't care. They don't care if the girl is into them or not. They don't care if it's genuine desire. If she can fake, it's like the prostitution kind of thing, like, or stripper. If she can fake it well enough, the guy knows the stripper's not really interested in him. He's just putting the money on the table, and she gives him the lap dance, or she pretends to be like she's a very good actress, and I'm gonna make it seem as if I'm really into. I'm gonna make it seem that I have genuine desire for you. If the guy knows that, and he understands that her desire for him is based solely on just what he's got, what he has as far as resources is concerned. There are guys who will say, you know what? I got a lot of money. I don't care. I can have I can live like Dan Blitzerian, right? I can have a new girl anytime that I want to, but I'm doing this and I understand the game, and they enjoy having sex with these women who really don't have genuine desire for them, but they're willing to fake it for those guys. And you know what those guys say? I'm cool with that. That's fine.
No, that's true. That's why a lot of guys go to strip clubs. They're not paying for to see titties. You could do that on Pornhub. They're really paying for the attention and like the fake validation. That's why a lot of these guys buy prostitutes and strippers and all that other stuff. OnlyFans, you know what I'm saying? Cam girls, like all these girls make a killing, not necessarily because they're showing boobs, but because they're giving these guys that otherwise would never have been able to get attention from an attractive woman. Attention,
the girlfriend experience.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
I made a fake account on Seeking Arrangement recently, right?
Look,
as a girl, and
That wasn't fake.
So what the point I'm trying to make here is that like I'm not going to say the name of the company, but I had the CFO of a Fortune 500 company hit me up, and it was just unbelievable how pathetic these guys are. But the reason is, and I think it ties into what everybody's saying, right, is because they think they want sex, but really they just want emotional affection. That's really what it is, because they were like telling me some stuff like, you know, oh, I want to take you here. How are you? Good morning, honey. How are you? I watched this YouTube video, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, are these guys this pathetic? And the answer is yes. And that's why cam girls, booming business. That's why pre-COVID strip clubs, you know, when are like people like, oh my God, strip clubs are shutting down, you know, like that's what they want. And if you're a guy out there and you think that females don't know this and females use that to dangle the carrot, as I mentioned earlier, you're a fool.
But you know what's a little bit ironic about what Rollo said here is that a lot of those guys, because what you're talking about is a different breed of guys. These are very desperate beta guys. But a lot of the guys that have the money, that use the money, that treat women as a transaction and like pieces of meat, they actually end up attracting genuine desire because of that. Because they're just like, you're just here, bitch, to serve me. Like I don't give a fuck. Like here,
so John,
I'll throw some.
I'm not paying you to sleep with me. I'm paying you to leave, guys.
Right.
So John,
a lot of times
these
actually,
guys I'm talking about, these are off of Seeking Arrangement.
No. Yeah, this is different. What you're talking about is a different class of guys that are looking for some kind of female companionship and looking for really validation from women. What I'm talking about is like what Rollo, you know, for example, like the Dan Blitzerian kind of guys that would just, you know, just throw money. Like it doesn't fucking matter. Like, you know, I'm using you and you're and I recognize that you're a piece of shit. That you're some slut. Here's your money, bitch. Right? Like that actually creates attraction. Like even though because you don't fucking care, because you're actually treating them like a piece of meat, as opposed to the guys that you're talking about, John, that are on like Seeking Arrangement, that are like, oh honey, I want to spoil you, I want to buy you things, I want to take you places, how was your day, right? Like that's a totally different mindset of trying to buy sex, right? There's two ways of buying sex, right? The one way of buying sex is like, you're a piece of meat, you're a slut, here you go, have some fucking money, bitch, right? Like just I don't care. And the other one where you're talking about on Seeking Arrangement, where the guys are like, oh, if I give her all these things, then she'll give me sex, right? And those create two different responses from women. Again, I'm not saying that every single woman is going to be attracted to the guy that's using her as a transaction that has a lot of money. If he's some old
one or two will,
you know, but some of them won't at the beginning, and then they will because they like being mistreated and abused, and they like that the guy is doing that. So
yeah, that's a very important nuance actually that doesn't get talked about very much. I mean, you could be a rich guy and you could be like, listen, I'm gonna fly these girls over to Mykonos for the weekend because I fancy going there to party, and he doesn't give a damn about the girls, and that is very different. That's not simping. That's just like, I want to have a good time, I want to go party, I'm going to bring these girls over, and then probably never speak to them again afterwards, right? That's a very different thing to the dude who's there like, oh my God, you know, can I buy you this? Can I buy you that? You know, it's just a different mindset, and it creates a different. It's the difference between arousal and attraction, isn't it? I think that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah. Let's see. Seth said this is also another reason not to chase at work. They always have the plausible deniability. Also, Alpha Kingdom, missed him here. He, salute to the panel. Peace chat. So I'm not sure what he's saying here. So they always have plausible deniability. You guys get what he's asking?
This is my dude. This is also another reason not to chase at work. They always have that plausible deniability. So what he's saying,
don't shit where you work.
Yeah, what he's saying is that, like, you know, if a girl, so this is what when I pimp on girls at work, this is like another thing. This is what I do. I flip the script on them. So I make sure if I'm gonna hit on a girl, and this is how all girls think, because you guys know the number one thing a woman cares about is her reputation. Okay, and what he's talking about is this. sometimes the girls will walk the line between what's inappropriate and appropriate at the workplace. So they'll still have plausible deniability. She'll be like, "Oh yeah, we should hang out sometime." Maybe she'll wink at you or like touch you on the hip or something. And then if you make the move like, "Yeah, you're pretty hot. Like, well, let's go drink some wine at my place tonight." And then maybe like, he touches her or something. Right there, the girl has plausible deniability to go and be like, "All right, like this guy sexually harassed me. Like, I was just making a friendly statement. So get this guy out of here." That's what I say. I say if you're going to be a guy hitting on girls at work, you need to make sure that every single statement that you say would be like, if there was a law case trying to incriminate you, you would always have plausible deniability on your side. Like, no, I just said like we should hang out sometime. Never make it a very overt statement like, "Hey, let's fuck in the bathroom," or "Hey, like
here's a bag of dildos for your."
Because guys are retarded and they do that shit.
Herlo, I was gonna say, you want to come? I gotta go feed my fish in the bathroom. You want to come with?
or you don't give a shit because you become valuable enough that you don't give a shit, right? Like that's the problem. Like with not having any degree of financial independence, guys, is you're not free if you're not financially free, right? You can't do whatever the fuck you want. But if you're financially free, you can say whatever you want. It doesn't fucking matter. Harassment.
It's a congruence thing. You're exactly right. If you're the kind of guy who really doesn't care and is willing to be open like that, then it'll come out through your body language, through your speech, through your tonality, through your entire interaction. If you have like beta nice guy saying, "Hey, let's go to the bathroom and screw lady," it's going to come off, and they don't know why. It just comes off as creepy because there's an incongruence there. And cave chicks any chick that fell for that got beat up by caved Chad. So those chicks didn't have cave babies. I'm talking very scientific. So try to follow me.
I like cave Chad.
Yeah.
I'll keep it real, man. I think sourcing women at work is a terrible idea. Personally, I don't think like you should. It's just.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
It's not worth it, man. Yeah, it's 9 out of 10 times it's never worth it. She's not going to be as hot as girls you would meet during day game or night game or running online dating apps. Like 9 out of 10 times. Because here's the problem. Let's keep it real. Most normal guys meet their girls through social circle or work. Because most guys, let's keep it real. I'm going to look at the camera when I say this. Most of you guys are scared to approach women in public. I'm going to keep it real. Most guys have approach anxiety. You stutter when you walk up to her. You're fucking socially awkward and shit. You can't say hello. Oh my God, what's your name? You're so beautiful. All this sucker shit. So most guys meet their women through social circle, but that's not the way to do it. Because the thing is that the reason why so many guys are socially incalibrated is because they don't do enough cold approach. When you do cold approach and you get, even if you like have a terrible rate, because most guys, even when you do cold approach, you're going to fail most of the time. But here's the thing. You're going to learn how to talk to women and you're going to learn charisma. And that is invaluable when you go out on these dates and meet these women. And that's going to dramatically increase your closes when you actually do go on dates. And it's going to make you more magnetic when you speak to women, when you do night game, when you do day game, whatever it may be. That's why cold approach is so important. A lot of guys rely way too much on social circle game or pulling girls at work or whatever. And the thing is that you're never going to be able to work the volume required to get a high lay count by only sourcing women that you know through social circle or work. And it's like it's counterproductive because you're in a situation where if you fail, I always tell guys, when you run social circle game, you can't be as crazy as you would be when you're doing like cold approach because there's consequences to when you fail.
Yes, and exactly. You filter yourself. If you filter yourself. If it's in work, particularly at work, but even if it's girls in your social circle, you're always going to be filtering yourself. You're always going to be thinking, "Oh, what if I say this or I do this or I make this move?" There's going to be a negative consequence to that, which is why, when you're in the big city, when it's all a bit anonymous, when you've got loads of targets to go for, you could be as crazy as within reason, guys. But you could be crazy. You can push the envelope. You could be a bit outrageous, and that behavior is going to be more attractive anyway.
Absolutely.
So you're putting yourself across as this. You've got this kind of wild, I don't give a fuck attitude, right? That is more attractive, and you can't do that in a work situation. So already you've got one hand tied behind your back.
And let's make it worse too, Troy. Let's keep it real. If you meet a girl through social circle, let's say she likes you, she finds you attractive, whatever, she's still going to put you through the ringer and be more reluctant to hook up with you because she knows on her side, just like John said earlier, a girl's reputation is everything. You know what I'm saying? So she's not going to, she's going to withhold sex from you longer than she normally would because she doesn't want to deal with being called a slut, from being ostracized or whatever. And I don't think guys understand how deeply girls are terrified of being ostracized. I'm gonna bring it like from a historical standpoint. You go back thousands of years, right? If a woman was ostracized by her tribe, it would literally mean death to her because she is not strong enough to fend for herself and gather resources. So women have a hive mind. But naturally, guys always complain, oh, her friend cock blocked me. Yeah, you know why, bro? Her friend cock blocked you, and why she went with her friend even though she wanted to bang you? Because she doesn't want to deal with the consequences of being ostracized by her friends and being called a slut the next day. So she's always going to defer to them over her lust for you. And the thing is that guys don't understand that women typically, they make decisions collectively. They don't make decisions on their own unless they're on their own. So when you meet a girl through social circle, the chances of her rejecting you are far higher. And if she does like you, she's going to put you through the ringer longer. So you end up taking an L regardless. And you got negative consequences if you fail, whether you lose your status in the social circle, people look down on you, you lose your job. It's not worth it. If guys that source at work, most of you guys don't work enough fucking volume. You guys got to get out there and do cold approach, man.
Yep. And if you are like the difference is because it's a slow burn, like you said, right? It's like, okay, if you're going out to a nightclub or a bar, you don't have a lot of time for her to see what a high value man you are. Right? You have to go and you have to approach. You have to go and demonstrate that by the way that you're talking, the things that you're saying, creating the hook, creating that actual attraction, and then having the logistics. When you're talking about like at the gym or at work or in a social circle, you got time. It's got to be a slow burn. You're not running any game. If you run any game, it's going to seem fishy as hell. Like you're going to seem like a sleazeball. Like don't run any game. In fact, that's where you're not even opening. Like if you're a high value man and you're at the workplace and she's seeing you every day, she's going to actually be approaching you at that point. Like you should wait for her. Like if that happens, then go for it. But
she makes herself available.
Right, because you have all the time in the world. Because if she is not seeing you every day and giving you signals, again, I'm not a huge choosing signals guy, but in this situation, absolutely, because you're not high value. You might think you're high value, but she's not going to suddenly think that you're high value because you just approached her or opened her now after she's been watching you day in, day at work, right? If you're as high value as you think you are and she's seeing you every day or whatever the fuck, she's already going to be crushing for you. She's already going to be going after, all the girls are going after the highest value guy in the office anyway. So
yeah. It's look, people look, here's the deal. Whether you guys want to say it's good advice or bad advice or whatever, like Miss MLD, she's right here next to me. She was my secretary. Okay. People are fucking at work and it's never going to stop. It just doesn't happen to be a good idea if you're an inexperienced chump. But I'll also say this, because there's a lot of negativity and a lot of like just bad mindset stuff from the audience members in this area, because that's why they're here. They're here to get themselves sorted out, and we're here to help them. There are more people. Yeah, there are more people having sex with each other at work and getting away with it scot-free. Okay, and if you don't think women are sucking their way to the top in corporate USA or in global USA, you're out of touch with reality. Okay, you're absolutely out of touch with reality. But the point we're trying to make here is this: with all of this sex going on, right? There is an abundance of women out there throwing sex out like it's candy on Halloween. The problem is, a lot of you guys, you have 10,000 karma points on fucking Reddit, right? You read all Rollo's books. You're a Patreon of Brian and Troy. You're in the Bulldog mindset. You took the Bulldog mindset quiz and bulldogmindset.com. You've got Myron's stuff, your body language mastery, but you approach one girl a quarter and you're like, I just can't figure out.
Facts.
Just don't understand. I mean, I read The Rational Male 7 times and on page 17 it says this, but I talked to one girl a month. Like I thought I was supposed to be alpha male. No, like sex is sales. That's the title of my book that's eventually going to come out whenever I get to it.
Ooh,
but
right
sex is sales.
Yeah. Okay? Right after Rich Cooper's.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You've got to be relentless. You've got to be relentless. You've got to be like, right, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make this happen for me. And I don't care how many leads I have to go through. I'm going to do this. Okay. And it's you've got to pound the pavements. You've got to knock on the doors. You've got to just keep uncovering leads.
Exactly. Guys, what else are you going to do? Jerk off in your bedroom? Like you got nothing else to do. Go for it.
Guys want a paycheck. The guys want a paycheck without going to work. Like like I can't, like I'll be on Lucario's stream, right? Helping him out. Shout out to Lucario. And a guy will call in, hey bro, I'm having a hard time, whatever. I can't get these girls. First thing we ask him, how many girls have you spoken to this week? 0. Okay. How many this month? 0. Yo, if you're not talking to girls, guys, what are you doing? Like, you're just a red pill masturbator. Oh, let me just watch this content and I'll talk to no girls. Oh, I'm scared. Most guys are terrified of cold approach. And you know when I noticed this? When I went out to a couple of these, these gatherings, and I was like, all right, guys, we're out at the bar. Let's go talk to some girls. Well, what are you talking about? We'll talk to some girls. Like, what the fuck are we here for? We could have just drank at home. No, we're gonna go cold approach. Well, what, dude? I don't do that. Oh my god! Like, you want to see a dude? You want to see the test of a man? Put him in front of a hot girl at a nightclub and see how he acts, bro. Yep. Then you're gonna know immediately where this guy stands as far as like his masculinity, his frame, etc. Most guys cannot sit there and have a conversation with a 10 at a bar. They're gonna start doing all kinds of sucker shit, whatever. And the thing is that if you can't hold frame at a bar and carry a conversation, how the fuck do you expect to go on a date with a chick and close on the first date if you can't even hold a 2-minute conversation with a chick? How are you going to hold a chick's conversation for an hour, 2 hours to close, man? That's why so many guys fail on dates.
From guys all the time, they'll say, well, that PUA is just a numbers game. You just got to go out there and just spam approaches over and over and over.
Well, not just a numbers game.
And I tell them this, I say, you know what? I said, it's not a numbers game. It's a persistence game. It's you going out there and doing it all the time. And I told them this, I said, go out. Here's what you do to start. Go out and do one approach on a Friday, once a week. Go out like on a Friday or Saturday, whatever days that you go out to the club. Do one approach a week. At the end of the year, you'll have done 52 approaches. That is more approaches than the average guy does in an entire lifetime.
Exactly.
You do that. You don't have to go out there and go, oh, I hit that girl, and that girl, and that girl, and that girl. They all said no. I can't believe it. Screw, game doesn't work. Go out and do one approach a week. Stay consistent and new approaches. Don't go, oh, I think I got in there with this girl. No. Keep going. Keep spinning plates. Get your abundance mindset going. Get that experience, because you will learn from those experiences. If you fall flat on your ass, it's okay to get rejected. Like, rejection is better than regret. Okay. It is better than not having done it. It's better than sitting at home, dick in hand, again, watching fucking Sailor Moon or whatever the fuck you watch, and drinking beer and sucking down, half a pizza or whatever. Right.
Yeah. Guys want to make excuses for their failures with women. Like this dork right now in the chat, Mr. Highway, your ability to game women isn't a testament to your manhood. Yeah, you dork. That's why I said how you deal with her is a testament to your manhood. Because if you put a guy in front of an attractive girl, you could tell right away what his confidence level is with him, how he deals with. Because like if you could, because most guys,
absolutely a test of your manhood.
Yeah,
absolutely a test.
Yeah, because the most successful guys. Yeah, you're put on this world to procreate. Yeah,
you're not having sex. You failed your DNA. If you're not having sex, you failed. You have failed as a human.
This Mr. Highway guy, he's one of those guys that's like, I'm on my purpose. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, but he's not approaching girls. Guys, you got to understand that, like, you become successful for you and women are a byproduct. However, you still have to learn how to talk to them, how to convey value appropriately. I can't tell you how many rich simps there are in Miami. There's so many rich simps here that don't know how to talk to girls. And then guess what? They go on the I meet them off Seeking, right? Because I use that. I use Seeking as a dating site. If you know what you're doing, use it as a dating site. I go out these girls, then they tell me stories of how they go out these successful, powerful men. They're dorks. They don't fuck them, but then they go ahead and have sex with me, and I'm not paying them shit. Why? Because I know how to deal with hot girls, and I'm not a sucker, and I basically hold my frame. That's the thing, man. If you don't figure this out, you're gonna get taken to the cleaners, and girls will save you in their phone as food. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and here's an argument. So this is what a lot of guys say, right? When I give them this advice about cold approaching, is they say, "Oh, it's a beta, it's a simp, it's being a simp to give women validation by cold approaching, by putting like monkey."
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
They'll come to me. They'll come to me. This is again, where they try to say that the choosing signals, right? That like only approach the girls that and I don't know about any of these guys, because I mean, shit, like I've gone to a pool party with with completely ripped, shredded, 6-pack abs, and I've seen some choosing signals, sure, but the average like chump guy that that is just going out to a nightclub, you think he's getting any choosing signals? Well, I mean, what girl is like looking at some random guy and giving him choosing signals?
It's like saying, is it when the lion goes after the antelope?
So
is that simp behavior? No, it's not. It's just, that is the natural thing that you're supposed to do. Now, having said that, depending on the nature of the attention, that's when you get down into simp or not simp. If you go up to you're like, oh, please, miss, you're so amazing. I just want to But the act of approaching is not in itself simple.
Well, yeah, a picture of somebody saying it's masculine to avoid half the population. It's just not. It's not reasonable on his face.
Right.
Look, when it comes to that, what this is a dork with a fucking ego rationalizing his cowardice. That's what it is. Okay. If you want to make money, okay, you want to. There's two tests of a man's manhood. Okay. One, put him in front of a hot girl. Two, put him in a commission-only sales job. And that's how you find a guy who is either going to make it or he's going to quit, right? These guys saying that, how does that make any sense that you're simping by approaching a woman? Women are the ones that stand back and wait for the men to approach. When you're acting like that, like, oh, I'm the prize, I'm going to sit back. You're a bitch, and you're probably a sexless one too. Okay, and you're never gonna get the level of women and the frequency of women if you're not doing approaches. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. It's never gonna happen, and it's a hard reality. You gotta be a fucking gangster if you want to approach a lot of girls. Because, bro, John, multimillionaire. Myron, Chad is fuck, doing very well financially. Right? Myself, doing okay, living in Tokyo. Dude, you got to be strong-willed for the amount of rejections you get. These girls reject you. Let me tell you, you know what girls in Tokyo do when they're not interested in you? It is ice cold. If you hit on a hot girl in Tokyo, all right, and she's not interested, straight up, she ignores your existence. She doesn't look at you. She doesn't acknowledge you. She does not even look in your general direction. She'll kind of like look annoyed and like pull up her phone or something and call her friend. But if you don't have thick skin, you're never going to be a top tier player. Just keep that in mind.
Facts. In Miami, they turned their back on you. And like, yo, the thing is this, man. A lot of guys try to rationalize them being pussies. Let's just keep it real. Like, oh, I don't got a cold approach. She's got a cold approach me and all this other stuff. And the thing is this, man. If you wait on women to come to you, you're gonna get scraps. Because the hottest girls don't approach dudes, man. Like you guys, like the 8s, the 9s, the 10s. We're talking bad chicks, girls that are getting hit on by NFL players, whatever. You got to make the move on them because they're getting offers to go to Dubai. They're getting offers to be on boats. Like a lot of these guys don't live in reality. Like when you deal with like attractive women on a daily basis and you see a little bit of their life, you realize like, man, my girlfriends, they've shown me their DMs of like, really, man, I'm Eskimo brothers with future, guys. Like, I'm telling you, like, you guys don't understand what these girls are dealing with in their DMs every single day. You got to get out there and figure this shit out. Like, these guys they'll say anything to rationalize the fact that they're not getting sex. And that's what they're going to do.
It's ultimately what's effective, right? What's the most effective thing, right? And even like to speak to what Rollo was talking about the game, and I mean, game is supposed to make it so that you have a higher chance of success. So it's not just a game, right? That's the purpose of game. If you have game, but I'll tell you this, okay? Give me a salesperson, right? And I'm going to give you 10 leads. Okay, and I'm gonna give the other guy 1,000 leads. I don't give a fuck if you are God's gift to salespeople. If you are the best fucking closer in the fucking world, the guy with 1,000 leads is gonna smoke your ass. So if you are an ugly fucking beta guy with shitty genetics, okay, and you're 5'2" or whatever the fuck your problem is, and you look like a fucking troll, okay, then you need to approach more. You need to approach 100 times more than Chad. Sure, okay, maybe Chad gets 1 in 10. And you know what? The most Chadist Chad I ever have met is if he does better than 1 in 10. Yeah, John over here. All right, that's fucking killing it to do better than 1 in 10. It's I've never even heard of it. It's not possible. Okay. But if you are a fucking ugly ass troll beta guy, you need to fucking approach like crazy. And guess what's going to happen when you do 10 times more approaches than everyone else? You're going to learn fucking game, because you can't help but learn game. Because you know why? Because one of the key elements of learning game is to not give a fuck, is to be unreactive. And when you can go up to girls and you're like, I don't give a fuck whether you like me or not. You're just a fucking number on my list. Just checking you off because you were a hot girl. So hot girl number 10 I talked to tonight. Oh, what do you got to say? Oh, okay, fine. Fuck you. All right. And you move on. You're going to come off as fucking alpha because you will actually be it in your mind, because you'll be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not reactive.
By the way, can I just say that can happen on a micro level within one night, okay? If you go to the club and you get you talk to 10 girls and you get blown out ruthlessly by the first 10 girls, after that, you're like on fire, because it's like, my worst fear has materialized 10 times. I've been kicked to the curb in this club by these bitches. So you can't do anything to me now. I'm just going to go and fucking talk to you, and I don't care what happens. I don't give a shit. And that is when during the night, suddenly you've got momentum, and suddenly, magically, you start to become more attractive because they can sense that you don't care. And that's when you pull, okay? So even within a night, you can get that momentum.
John, I want to add on to your point earlier. And I always use this analogy, okay? If I gave two men, right? I gave one guy a dart and I said, hit that bullseye. And I give another guy 100 darts and I say, hit that bullseye. Two things are going to happen, right? Now, him hitting the dart is not guaranteed with the 100. However, just like game, what it does is it increases your probability of success, right? Like when you add equipment to a character in an MMO or RPG, like the equipment can increase the probability of you landing a critical hit, but you don't always hit a critical hit all the time. So going back to the dart example, two things happen, right? One, the probability of the guy hitting the bullseye goes up. And two, if he's mentally aware of his process of trying to learn how to hit the bullseye, with every single dart he throws, he's going to get better and better. His proficiency will increase because that is the backbone of learning stuff. It's repetition, okay? So by him throwing those darts, listen, maybe the first 10, 15, he's gonna be like, okay, if I let go at 40, if a 90-degree angle, or if I let go at an obtuse angle, if I let go at an acute angle, he'll start coming to conclusions through him taking action and being aware of what he's doing and then seeking to optimize. That's what game is.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, because like we got some guys in the chat like, oh, game is overrated, all this other stuff. Listen, Kujam, whatever the fuck your name is, you got to understand this. Game is nothing more than the ability to assess a situation with a woman and making calculated moves to optimize your success rate. That's all it is. Like, guys want to sit here and say, oh,
social savviness.
That's what it is.
Sexual articulation.
Like these dorks are out here like thinking like game is like, oh, I'm gonna run these like canned openers. I'm gonna do all this gamey shit. Like, no, it's literally being able to talk to a girl, size up your chances of winning, and making the proper decision based on real-time social feedback and making the decision that's gonna put you in the best way to win. That's all game is. Like, guys are overcomplicating it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Myron, I was just gonna tell you, I know you're new to Rule Zero. Just ignore the chat. 9 times out of 10, they're idiots.
Yeah, I know, bro. I'm getting that coming from you. Stupid.
And to be fair, there is a purpose. The purpose of the canned openers were for guys that knew absolutely nothing. Right. They don't even know what to say when they walk up to a girl. Literally training wheels. That's all.
What canned openers did, what canned lines did, was it gave guys permission to go in and talk to women, because they thought, right, now I've got this line, I've got something to say, I'll go in there and do it. To be honest, it probably wasn't the lines. If they got success, that got them that success. It was just the fact that they went in and did it. Because going in and doing it, going in and making the approach is 9 out of 10 of the battle, right? That's you've got to take action. And like John said, the more action you take, the more that you learn, the more that you adapt, and the better you get. So your success rate starts to go up. Okay.
And game doesn't just apply to women. right? It is being able to get into a social situation and get what you want out of the social situation. It's being able to read and understand and get the effective result. And so at the end of the day, right, like, and this is where, like, I have this philosophy. I say, begin in pragmatism, end in pragmatism, right? In between, there's a lot of fun. We can have principles. We can debate a bunch of shit. But at the end of the day, you got to figure out what actually gets you fucking results, right? And you can argue, oh, that's simping, that's all whatever fucking argument you get. You tell me what the result you want to get is, okay? And then you apply some strategy, and if it gets you that result more than some other strategy, you have game. That's
pretty much it.
There's no fucking other way to judge that, because ultimately what we're trying to accomplish, whether it be in business or in relationships, is to get the result that we want. And if you're not getting the result that you want, you can make up all kinds of life philosophies, you can make up all kinds of reasons, you can cry all kinds of victim mindset and mentality, and you can hate on whoever you want.
But is one of those philosophies MGTOW? That's one of those philosophies.
That's one of them for sure.
And let me read this. Let us read from the book of Royce. This is from the unbearable tragicness of hating. All of this stuff. What's funny is whenever I hear MGTOW hate, or I hear like black, I don't even call them black pill, the doomer hate. Let's just call them doomers, because that's really basically what they mostly amount to. All this hate. Dude, this has been going on since like way before you guys are probably even born. So, in the unbearable triteness of hate, number 16 was this. Royce, in his wisdom, enumerated all of the various types of hate that are thrown at game and pickup artists and red pill and stuff. So this was number 16. This is dancing monkey hate, which I did a full video on my channel about a couple months back. Anyways, this is it. Dancing monkey hate. The hater says this: men who run game are just doing the bidding of women. Alphas don't entertain women. Okay, well, first of all, that alphas do entertain women. They just don't realize they're entertaining women. So this is what he says: if you want success with women, you are going to have to entertain them. You're already, just by being a guy, you're either entertaining in a good way or you're entertaining in a bad way. What do you want to do, right? If you want success with women, you're going to have to entertain them one way or the other. The same is true of women. Once a woman stops entertaining men with her body, her femininity, and her commitment worthiness by getting fat, ugly, old, bitchy, or single mommy, she stops having success with men. We are all doing the bidding of our biomechanical overlord, and on our knees to his will we will surrender, by force or by choice. You fool yourself if you believe you have some plenary indulgence from this stark reality. Or if you can't beat them, join them.
Yo, facts 100. Here's the reality. These guys that are mad, like these guys that like say, oh, the juice isn't worth the squeeze and all this other crap. You guys are on here watching dating channels, how to get girls. So get the fuck out of here with the bullshit saying, oh, we don't want to, it's not worth the squeeze. I hate women, all this other shit. Because here's the thing. When you don't get sex, it's going to breed contempt for the opposite gender. Let's call a spade a spade. A lot of you guys are just misogynists, and you guys don't want to admit it. You want to say, oh yeah, or MGTOW, whatever. I don't have a problem with guys that want to go their own way, but to sit there and say you don't want, but to sit there and like try to clown on guys like us that like figured out the game and have optimized it for ourselves, like you can't do both. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do want the sex. The problem is that you're not willing to do what's required to attract the women. You want to hide behind the veil of, I don't like women. Like, look, MGTOW Laymanary right now in the chat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you don't even show your face. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like you can't even show your face, and you're out here saying, fuck women. John. You're a misogynist, bro. That's the reality. You're a bitter misogynist. And the thing is that men and women are better together than they are.
Can I just say on this point though, game done correctly is absolutely not manipulation, because game should be win-win, right? Girls want to get laid, guys want to get laid. This is about presenting yourself in the best way possible, in the most efficacious way possible, in order that you can come together and have a great experience together. That's all it is. It's not manipulation. It's presenting yourself well in order to get your needs met in the sexual marketplace. He
doesn't need women, but he's on a chat listening to dating coaches talk about women. What are you doing here then, bro? You want the sex. You're a dork.
Guys, he wants the attention. This is strictly any attention is good attention thing.
Yes. Okay, John, listen, I'm going to address this dork and then take his name off of the screen, and we'll never mention this loser again, because that's what this guy is. Okay, this guy and all the people in that little community, they are all losers. Okay, if you're in your 40s, okay, and you're still broke, and you're still thinking prostitution is a good thing, and you get excited, like, hey guys, we're gonna take a fucking black pill trip down to Belize, and we're gonna fuck some hoes because bitches ain't shit, but we're gonna save up money for a ticket, we're gonna book a hotel, and we're gonna like go down there and have sex with these girls, MGTOW, bro. We don't care about women, but all we're gonna talk about is women, bro. Oh my god, bro, smash that like button.
And we're gonna pay for it.
And this guy's a loser.
But
He's in his 40s and he's accomplished nothing with his life. He's struck out. He's a washout. You have to understand what the internet has done. It has given everybody a voice. And losers typically have the loudest voice because that's all they have time to do. Sit around and, oh, I'm so angry. Oh, I hate people. Blah, 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 blah. You know, and this guy too, he's doxing my mom now, and he's doxing my brother, all this stuff. So so you're gonna say no, my attorney's already on it. So we're gonna be A-okay. MGTOW dictionary is gonna be a thing of the past. Don't worry, boys. Get that name off the screen. We're not gonna talk about this loser ever again.
That guy's doxing your family?
Yes, he's doxing my mom.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like I don't like giving him attention on that. I get that every attention is good attention thing, but the more we talk about him, the more we encourage this stuff. And I'd rather these guys just
listen. That guy someone's gonna pay him a visit. He's gonna be okay. Don't worry about it. We're gonna get his identity. Everything's gonna be okay.
What are you gonna do? Make his life miserable? He's already miserable.
I'm just gonna hold up a mirror in front of him, and he's gonna die from.
So I'm just annoyed by it because the anger. There's a purpose to it. They get angry at anybody on this panel or anybody they see as an authority of something they're insecure about. And that anger is what allows them to cope with their own situation. So it's not even about you. It's not about Myron. It's not about me. He's doing that to cope with something else in his own life. And we're just the surrogates because last year we didn't exist.
He's doing it to cope with hating women, bro. A lot of these guys hate women.
Can you blame them though? Like everything they've wanted, a woman to shut them down on. So I can get the bitterness, but you got to kind of use that to get somewhere with it. You can't just internalize it.
Yeah, use it as motivation.
Yeah, that's the whole point of anger. Increases your neuroplasticity. That's how you learn, is by getting angry.
And there's two things here I think that are important. Relate to this comment here, the super chat. He says, I love how John Bulldog described game weeks goes persuasion, not manipulation. Now, the reason why I call persuasion not manipulation is because when we're being scientists and we're
that's a girl, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, the doctor or this one?
No, this one, Yakafar. That's my student's wife.
Okay.
Oh, she's messaging you, huh?
When we're being scientists and we're trying to determine how useful something is, we need to take morality out of the equation, right? We don't look at what's right or wrong. When you're constantly looking through the lens of morality, you're not looking at what's most effective. Again, you can live your life with whatever morals you like, but when you look at effectiveness, you have to take morality out. So when you use the word manipulation, it implies morality, right? That's why I prefer to use the word persuasion, because persuasion is what's ultimately happening. Now, you can call it manipulation if you don't like it, if you feel like it's a win-lose situation or whatever, but what's ultimately happening is persuasion. It's the same thing here with the MGTOW guys and the women hating, right? The reason why they hate women is because they're taking something that is objective reality. Okay, this is human evolution. This is biological nature of male and female dynamics. This is the heart of red pill, is what is the actual observable reality, and then they're coloring it with their own interpretations of a moralistic lens on top of that. And because of that, that's where the women hating comes in.
Well,
and you have to eliminate all of that. Otherwise, you're going to be bringing your bias into it, right? If you would just say, okay, women behave this way and men behave this way, and this is, if you want to get sex from women, then you need to behave this way, or you need to do these things. Then it's not like, oh, they're so bad. It's like a lion. Okay, when you watch on the National Geographic and you see a lion tear a fucking zebra's leg and start chewing on it, and its guts are coming out while it's trying to run away and it's bleeding, you don't say, oh, that lion is such a fucking evil lion. What a horrible lion. You just say that's fucking nature. It's the same exact thing. thing here. As soon as you start applying like morality and all these like preconceived notions of you assign malevolence to what's happening, malevolent, whatever the fuck the
malice.
Let's say malice. Yeah. Then you're going down the wrong road.
But at the same time, can I just make one point? At the same time, if it was as simple as right, I've read some lines in the mystery method, and I go to the club and I say these lines out rote, and then a girl sleeps with me, and I've done this secret trick. Then you might say that's manipulation because you've made her do something that, in this imaginary world, you've kind of caused her to do something that perhaps she didn't want to do. But that's not the reality of game. There is no trick. You don't just learn some stuff and then any girl's going to sleep with you. That's what we keep saying on these shows, right? That's why you've got to work volume, because the reality is you learn this stuff. You understand about social dynamics. You understand about psychology. And even then, you're still going to get rejected most of the time.
Yes.
So game happens when chemistry ignites and you guys are into each other. And that's the purpose of it all. It's like what Rollo was saying before. Like what you really want is you want enthusiastic. I know this is a kind of a loaded term, but you kind of want enthusiastic consent. Yes. Ideally, you want the girl to be like, "Oh my god, that guy's so hot! I just want to take my clothes off and fuck him," right? And that doesn't happen through some trickery. That happens because you've created the right, and again, loaded term, the right energy between you, okay? And that comes about through momentum, and it comes about through having done it hundreds of thousands of times. And there are no tricks. So without tricks, it can't be said to be manipulation, right?
You can't apply morality to natural selection. You can't morality to natural selection. Because like the thing is this, man. Just like we're attracted to a girl with a thin waist, nice breasts, long hair, nice ass, all that stuff, women are attracted to guys that are high value. So you can't sit there and say, I want super hot girls, but then be mad that women want guys that have higher social status. It's just the way the world works. So for you to get angry, you got two options. You can either look at the reality and adapt and do what's required to get what you want, right? Self-improve and learn this shit, right? Or you can cry about it, hide your face on camera, and just be in a stream for 8 hours complaining about women and breeding that contempt for women. Because let's make no mistake about it. A lot of these guys hate women, and that is not natural. You know what I'm saying? Like you're frustrated, whatever. Like it's just a toxic mentality to have because men and women are better together than we are apart. But these guys want to sit here.
Well, and even why do you have to hate them en masse? Hate them individually. There's girls that'll give you tons of reason to hate them. Let them earn it. Because that takes a lot of effort anyway.
On that note, we should. We're gonna one more thing, and then we're gonna wrap it up because we're at 2 hours here.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's
a good stream.
So the point, let me ask you guys this, because I asked because as you guys know, I am actually the godfather of the black pill. These are all my retarded children, and I'm trying to slap some sense into them.
All your seed.
Okay? They're all these all you know what they're like? They're like the Morlocks that the mutants that head under the sewers and you're the Eloy and X-Men. And I'm like the benevolent leader trying to come up into sunlight. It's okay. They're like, no, we're freaks. We hate women, right? But the thing is this, John, let me ask you this, because everybody here, I asked this question to these flunkies and they obviously got it wrong. So game is manipulation, right? Let's say it is. Do women use manipulation on a daily basis? Yes or no?
Of course. If you call it manipulation,
we got the entire makeup industry to prove that, baby. Never goes that.
Baby's crying is manipulation. Dog yelping is manipulation. Everything is manipulation if it gets in a result.
What the backbone of women's existence is manipulation, and they learn it from a young age. It is built into their DNA. To say that game is manipulation,
they're the weaker sex. They have to. They're the weaker sex.
It just shows me, when a guy says something like that, it shows me that you're a 40-year-old fucking loser. You don't even make six figures, and you have amounted to nothing with life, but you have such a narcissistic ego that you have to sit around on a Sunday or Saturday night, whatever. It's Sunday for me, so Saturday night, like the prime time to go pick up girls. They sit around and they talk about me for 8 hours on their live stream. So you're welcome for the content, you fucking losers. Get ready for some legal action. It's going to happen. John, I'm good. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yikes.
Well, thank you guys. It's been an honor to be able to host you guys on my channel here. Guys, make sure if you're listening, watching from my channel, from Bulldog Mindset, that if you want to see Rule Zero, it happens every Saturday. They rotate through the channels here. Like I said, great group of guys. That's why I was really excited to host them here. So we're just going to go around real quick and just say some parting words here and whatever action you want people to take to follow you or check out your stuff. Sorry,
you want me to go first? Okay.
Yeah, we'll go clockwise.
We'll go. Okay. Yeah. Myron Gaines here, guys. Unplug Fit is my IG. You can find me on YouTube. I put out fitness content with an evidence-based lens, along with, dating advice, practical stuff. I'm here in Miami, Florida. So obviously I get it. I got to learn this stuff or else I'm taking an L. And yeah, Unplug Fit on all my social media, guys, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, everything. You search Unplug Fit on YouTube, you'll find my channel. And yeah, man, I run a podcast every Monday, and we're going to actually have an episode on Monday on how to run game in Miami properly so you don't get fleeced from all angles. So you guys want to definitely tune into that one. So shout out to Alpha Villains for the shirt, by the way. That's all I got. Thanks for having me on, John.
Yep.
Great stream.
All right, Ryan.
Yeah, for me, I'm actually going. So we talked about a lot of the stuff, and a lot of guys aren't at a place where they can follow a lot of John or Myron's advice. So I'm actually going way back to the basics. No more Mr. Nice Guy. When I sin, I feel guilty. I'm calling it the Sidebar series. We obviously say the 2 rules of attraction are be attractive, don't be unattractive. And these guys, great advice on being attractive, but not a lot of people are understanding how not to be unattractive. So this is assertiveness training. This is shedding those nice guy mental models that you were given as a kid. Obviously, the feminization of society has an effect. It's how to shed all that stuff and get out of your own way so you can follow these guys' advice and do more. And then, as always, if you just want to see me shit post, you can watch me on Twitter. That's _Ryan_Stone. And I have a new Twitch channel now. So it's kind of more casual, younger audience. And the idea is we're sitting down just like we were college buds. Sit down, play a little bit of Mega Man 2, and then discuss this stuff, but more like a just a little uncasual chit chat and not like a formalized psychological breakdown. So it's good. It's a lot of fun. However you want to reach me, you're welcome to be there. And that's all I got for you. Again, seriously, check out the show. I guarantee you it's like 18 hours of content that'll change your life.
Awesome.
Don't dox my mom.
All right. Troy.
You can't dox my mom.
Ouch.
Yeah, guys, thanks, John, for having me on. It's been an awesome stream today. So I'm Troy Francis. Look for me on YouTube, look for me on Twitter, look for me on Instagram, but particularly YouTube, and subscribe to my channel because I'm putting out loads and loads of content on YouTube, and I'm really trying to build up the channel. Had some great stuff on there, some great interviews. Going to be doing a show with John, Bulldog Mindset, very soon. So yeah, I tend to talk mainly about game, but particularly about the dynamics of attraction and how to get yourself into the mindset to become like one of those natural Chad guys who just gets it. Okay, how can we learn from those guys? How can we become one of those guys ourselves if perhaps we weren't naturally like that to begin with? All right. And on that note, I have a course called Charisma and Dating Academy, which opens on the 7th of August. There's a 5-day enrollment period from the 7th until the 11th of August. So come to my channel, subscribe, and you'll get some more information on that very, very soon. That's it.
All right. Awesome. All right, John.
All right. So I finally started a Patreon, and what it is, it's twice a month. We have group coaching, and it's limited to 100 spots. 75 are already gone, and I haven't even done any proper promotion on it. They will fill up without a shadow of a doubt. The sessions start August 9th. The sessions are every 2nd and 4th Sunday. They start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're 2 hours long per session, so it's 4 hours a month for $100. Or you could go book my private rate, which is one-on-one, $200 an hour. Quite frankly, I would tell you to come to the group coaching because I can knock out way more questions and help everybody out on a better just efficiency with regards to efficiency. That being said, August 9th, yeah, it's launching. So go to patreon.com/modernlifedating. Those spots will fill up, and we're starting August 9th. And there is potentially a new course coming out for me related to online dating and certain segments of it in August. Keep an eye on my channel, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day, Monday to Friday. put a 1 in the chat if you're interested in that course. I'll see you next time.
All right. Rolo.
Cool. I will be on my channel tomorrow, regular time. I was not on Wednesday. I took that Wednesday off. I've been in Vegas since about Monday, so I just got back on Thursday evening. And so I took that day off. So I'll be back in the saddle on 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. I've got a kind of an interesting topic. I don't want to give it away just yet, but it's
Hergamy?
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm going to. It'll be kind of a follow up on the Will Smith Jada thing that's going on, but like more from like a how to deal with infidelity kind of thing, or why women cheat kind of thing. So I'll be talking about that tomorrow. I have a new blog post up on therationalmale.com. Go ahead and look at that. It's called The Rise of the Hustle Economy. Go check that out. Book 4 is coming along swimmingly. I should be done with it by the end of this month. So we'll look for it being published, like say, in August. So that's the good news that's coming up. Other than that, we have an event coming up in October 2nd through the 4th, which is going to be Rule Zero Live in Las Vegas. We're still finalizing the venue right now. And if you are interested in tickets, those tickets are $9.99. You can buy them actually from John Sanmez here, and you can get them from Aaron Clary, Sterling Cooper, and John Fitch at the moment until further notice, and then you can buy them from us. Everybody on the Rule Zero panel. That's coming up. We're still, I think John and I are a little bit concerned about the COVID thing that's coming up right now. So we're still, in the planning stages. As far as I know, everything's good to go. So that will be October 2nd through the 4th upcoming. And that's all I got.
Awesome. All right. And guys, to take the Bulldog quiz, actually, I have a new, if you do bulldog.me, just bulldog.me, you will go and take the Bulldog quiz. I just registered that domain, and down in the link below is my $7 trial membership for the Bulldog mindset if you want to become the kind of man that can be attractive to women, because you're actually that man, being financially successful, getting in shape, and also developing those social skills. So again, want to thank all of you guys for coming out here. It's been awesome. And guys, make sure you go and check out all these guys' channels. They all have great content, and go over there, subscribe, go show some love. So take care.